Is that better or worse?
It's about the same.
I can hear you fine, Patty.
Yeah, we've never had this.
Patty, I can hear you.
Okay.
I can hear you perfectly fine over here, Patty.
I can hear you fine too, Patty.
You're coming through loud and clear for the recording.
Okay. I'll try to yell as loud as I can. But I also just want to ask everybody, just for purposes of the clerk, if you're making a motion or a second, if you'll state your name beforehand so she can make sure that she records everything, if that's okay with everyone.
That's small.
You ready? We're going to begin back by calling the roll.
Willie Campbell,
Here.
Mark Levins,
Here.
Robert Aco,
Present.
Nancy Brown,
Here.
Mike Hill,
Here.
Patty Woodby,
Here.
Bradley Johnson,
Here.
Mark Tester,
Here.
Charles Von Cannon,
Present.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Here.
Jerry Prophet,
Here.
Austin James,
Here.
Ross Garland,
Here.
Layla Ward,
Present.
Ginger Holdren,
Present.
Randall Jenkins,
Here.
Gary Bailey,
He's here. He can come back to his house.
Travis Hill,
Present.
Sonja Color,
Present.
Aaron Frazier,
Here.
Robin McCamey,
Present.
Kelly Collins,
Here.
David Miller.
Okay, let me tell them, okay? What, you want me to tell them to let you in or not?
David Miller,
Chairman Woodby,
Yes.
Gary Bailey is at the building, but he can't get in. Does somebody want to let him in, or does he need to go back home?
So we'll let him in. We'll let him in.
Okay,
We had asked him to come to help us.
okay, they're coming to let you in.
The bottom one, Josh, I'm assuming at the bottom. Yeah.
David Miller. David Miller,
I need to, amend the agenda and add Miss Shannon from Animal Shelter. We're gonna add her under approval of notary Savon, be 6A. And she's got a little presentation to discuss some things with us, so if everybody would add that to your agenda. And we'll need a motion to approve the amended agenda.
Motion to approve the agenda, Travis Hill, 6th District.
I'll second Randall
Isaiah
Jenkins.
Grindstaff, second.
Motion, Travis Hill, second. Who was the second? I'm sorry. Randall Jenkins.
Yes.
Any discussion? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Willie Campbell,
Yes.
Mark Levins,
Yes.
Robert Aco,
Yes.
Nancy Brown,
Yes.
Mike Hill,
Aye.
Patty Woodby, Bradley Johnson,
Aye.
Mark Tester,
Aye.
Charles Von Cannon,
Yes.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Yes.
Jerry Prophet,
Aye.
Austin James,
Aye.
Ross Garland,
Aye.
Aye.
Layla Ward,
Aye.
Ginger Holdren,
Yes,
Randall Jenkins,
Yes.
Gary Bailey, Travis Hill,
Aye.
Sonja Color,
Aye.
Aaron Frazier,
Aye.
Robin McCamey,
Aye.
Kelly Collins,
Aye.
David Miller.
Okay, the agenda's set. We'll move on to opening prayer by Commissioner Willie Campbell.
Reverend Father God, Lord, it's about our heads, Lord, one time today, God, that you give us, Lord, to put our feet to the floor. Lord, that you give us a chance to take another breath, Lord. God, we thank you for this day, but thank you for your love, mercy, and grace that you have upon each one of us, God. Most of all, we thank you for your Son, Jesus Christ, who came and gave his life, Lord. We could have life and have it more abundantly, Lord. Lord, tonight we do pray for each one, Lord, in this commission, God. Lord, the decisions that we make, Lord, that we seek you first, Lord. We pray, Lord, tonight for those that have sickness, Lord, within our body. God, we pray, God, that you touch them, have your anointing upon each one of them, Lord. Lord, tonight we give you praise and honor for everything that you do for us, Lord. God, we thank you for each county employee, Lord, and their families. God, we pray, Lord, you have your anointing on them. Lord, we do pray for this pandemic that's going around, Lord. We pray, God, Lord, that you touch them, Lord, those that are on the front lines, God. Lord, we pray you have your protection for them. Lord, we pray for each one, Lord, that's in a nursing home, hospital, wherever they may be a little off somewhere. God, we pray, Lord, that you have your anointing on them. God, we ask these things by name. Amen.
Moving on to acceptance of the meeting minutes from the July meeting.
Mark Clem, first record, motion to approve.
I'll second. Isaiah Grindstaff.
Second by Commissioner Grindstaff. Any corrections, deletions, or discussion about the minutes?
Yes, on the minutes, page 530, our friend Travis Hill has misspelled on the, we need to put an R in that, it's Tavis Hill. On the, there's two others, do I want to get them all while we're at it?
Go ahead.
On the resolution concerning the women's suffrage, there's a misspell, there's a missed date on that. It's dated 2020, and it should be 1920 on one of those. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Whereas on August the 26th, it says 2020, the United States Secretary of State issued a proclamation declaring the ratification. The ratification was declared in 1920.
Are you talking about the resolutions tonight?
Yeah.
Let's do.
Well, that's what I said.
Yeah,
You want to get them all now? Or?
Let's wait, do that.
All right. We're
We're
good.
minutes from the July meeting. Any further corrections or discussion on the minute?
Chairwoman Woodby, I got a few.
Okay. Commissioner Hill, go ahead.
On page 529, under Resolution C, resolution is spelled wrong on C number 769, and this needs to have some letters switched around. Mr. Von Cannon got the other one on page 531.
What was that page, sir?
529
Okay.
under Resolution C. If you look at the second Resolution C, it's spelled wrong.
Okay.
Page 531, resolutions F. It should be one resolution, not multiple. And then right below that resolution is spelled wrong again. Let's see here. On page 534, under the building and grounds, the motion made by Gary Bailey, it's a 25-year lease, not leased. And then the last one is on page 536. I believe it's Southgate Drive instead of Southgate Road. And that's all that I have.
Okay. Those corrections have been notated. Any further corrections or discussion?
Not on these, not on minutes.
Okay. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Willie Campbell,
Aye.
Mark Levins,
Aye.
Robert Acuff,
Aye.
Nancy Brown, Mike Hill,
Aye.
Patty Woodby,
Aye.
Bradley Johnson,
Aye.
Mark Tester,
Aye.
Charles Von Cannon,
Aye.
Isaiah Grindstaff, Jerry Prophet,
Aye.
Austin James,
Aye.
Ross Garland,
Aye.
Layla Ward,
Aye.
Ginger Holdren,
Aye.
Randall Jenkins,
Aye.
Gary Bailey,
Going to have to abstain because I didn't hear enough of the conversation to join in.
Travis Hill,
Aye.
Sandra Cutler,
Aye.
Aaron Frazier,
Aye.
Robin McCamey,
Aye.
Kelly Collins,
Aye.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Aye.
David Miller,
Okay, motion passes. Approval of no written bond. Madam Clerk, would you read that list, please?
Sue A. Chambers, Ann Michelle Odom, Collins Landstreet, Dixie Leonard, E. Kelly Banner, Sandra H. Monger, Christy Hopkins, L. Michelle Melton.
Me.
Motion to approve.
So moved. Mike Hill, Commissioner, District 2.
Motion
Sandra Color.
approved, Commissioner Hill, second, Commissioner Kohler. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Willie Campbell,
Aye.
Mark Blevins,
Aye.
Robert Acuff,
Aye.
Nancy Brown,
Aye.
Mike Hill,
Aye.
Patty Woodby,
Aye.
Bradley Johnson,
Aye.
Mark Tester,
Aye.
Charles Von Cannon,
Aye.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Aye.
Jerry Prophet,
Aye.
Austin James,
Aye.
Ross Garland,
Aye.
Layla Ward,
Aye.
Ginger Holdren, Randall Jenkins,
Aye.
Gary Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Aye.
Sandra Cutler,
Aye.
Aaron Frazier,
Aye.
Robin McCamey,
Aye.
Kelly Collins,
Aye.
David Miller.
Motion passes. You said aye. Yeah. Next agenda item is, Ms. Shannon Fodder with the animal shelter. Shannon, are you on the line?
Yes, ma'am.
I'll turn it over to you and let you begin that discussion.
Good afternoon, Commission. The ASPCA of Asheville came to us with a program where it's a community feral cat program, and the program is through the shelter only. This program would allow our community cats to be brought to the shelter and loaded onto the shelter van and transported to Asheville, North Carolina to be spayed or neutered, an ear tip which indicates that they have been spayed or neutered for anyone who finds these cats, and a rabies vaccine, absolutely at no charge to our community. This is a huge project for our community that can be help us with population control of cats and kittens. So I'm not sure how long that the program's going to last, but our problem is this. We have the Taylor DeLauder estate van that was donated to the shelter, which is county property. we have asked the ASPCA of Asheville if they would allow a different transportation other than like from the shelter, and they said this program has to go through the shelter. So at the savings of no charge to our community, we think that this is worth taking our van for. I have spoken with Attorney Josh Harden, and he did give us a spay neuter transport release that everyone would have to read, sign, and initial and date before the animals could be taken. Now, this would take 2 staff members from the shelter to transport them to Asheville, which is about an hour and 15 minutes away. They would remain there. Our staff would go back and pick them up. The cost to the county would be the cost of the gas for the van. We can probably take anywhere from 30 to 40 cats, depending upon the live traps that the cats has to be contained in for transportation. So with this being a county van, we need the commission's approval to use this van for that specific county community feral cat project.
Madam Chairman, Commissioner Hill, District 2.
Yes, Commissioner Hill.
I move that we allow the use of the county property van for this purpose.
I'll second. Randall Jenkins.
Commissioner Hill has a motion to use the county van for purposes of transporting the feral cats, with a second from Commissioner Jenkins. Any further discussion?
Yes.
Commissioner Bladen?
How many times a month are we gonna be without these 2 employees at the animal shelter? You're already short-handed, what you say.
So this would take, so as we go right now, they want the animals there that we're taking. So 2 of my staff members, myself and my medical care manager, are usually the ones that transport these animals. We are there anywhere from 5:45 in the morning, and we load these animals up. We take them and we have them in Asheville by 8 a.m. We go back the following day to pick these animals up. For the feral cats, we will be bringing them back on the same day. So we'll take them that morning, we'll pick them up that afternoon, and we will have the owners of these feral cats waiting at the shelter when the van pulls in to pick their feral cats up and assume responsibility from the van. So it's about an hour and 15 minutes, give us about 20 minutes to unload, so, and then we're back. So give us approximately 30 minutes or 3 hours of the morning. So by the time that we leave, we're in Asheville by 8 a.m. We're usually back by 10 o'clock. Or 10:30, depending upon traffic.
And one other thing that you said is someone has to assume responsibility for receiving the cat whenever they come back, correct?
That's correct.
Yeah, Madam Chair, I have a question about that release form. I thought that by nature feral cats were feral; they didn't actually have an owner. So, how can someone that picks up, if they were to pick up a bunch of cats, how can they assume ownership of cats that aren't theirs?
So if these cats are on the property for a determined amount of time, if they are feeding and watering these cats, they theoretically are the owners of these cats. Now it's up to them if they have 30 cats now, if they want 90 by next year, they can keep them and allow them to keep having kittens. If they want help with the population, then they will help us to get them to Asheville to be spayed, neutered, and a rabies vaccine. A lot of these people, this is not their cats, but they did choose to start feeding these cats. And that's where when a true feral cat depends upon itself. Once a cat is dependent upon a human it's theoretically not considered a feral cat anymore. We had a discussion. We had some people come in from some feral communities. We had a meeting at the courthouse that night. We had probably 30 in attendance where they explained a true feral cat versus a cat that is not tame and being dependent upon somebody for food and water. So what people call in our community feral cats, there's not as many true feral cats as they are community cats that people cannot afford to spay and neuter, but they will feed and water them, but they just can't afford to spay and neuter bills. And right now, to be real honest, our veterinarians in the Tri-Cities area, it's very hard to get a spay or neuter appointment just because of the COVID-19.
So these animals that you're considering to be community cats, I mean, do they fall into this program if it's a program for feral cats?
Absolutely. That's why they call it a community program. A lot of people that say I have a feral cat, it's really a community cat, and that's why they're calling it a community cat, where those can be spayed at no charge as well. The only stipulation is they have to be brought to the shelter for transportation in a live trap. That's how the ASPCA of Asheville prefers to handle the feral cats to keep their staff safe and our staff safe as well.
Shannon, how many times a month will you do this?
Just depends upon the response from the community. Our community, because we cannot afford to go out and buy the live traps. Those live traps cost, I mean, you can get a cheap one on up to a very expensive one, starting out anywhere from probably $25 to $50. We just can't afford to buy live traps to loan out because we just can't afford it. So the stipulation is if they're serious about reducing the amount of cats around their house, they will invest in a trap. Now, if they have to buy 2 traps and we do 2 at a time, you know, that's great. We will make as many trips as long as the program is free, as long as we're getting a good response from the community. The number of trips within a month will really just depend upon the community's response. I can tell you we get a lot of calls at the shelter about feral cats. This is a wonderful opportunity for the community. This is probably the best solution that we've come up with so far that is free to the community. I can't tell you, you know, the response. I hope it's great.
Well, I think you'll have a bit of a limited response on some of it because my parents have at least one feral cat at their house that they do not feed, but it lives underneath a building nearby. And I mean, if I have to assume control of that cat whenever I take it in, I'm not going to bring it in. It's just going to continue to just be there, you know, because I don't want cats. I don't want cats in my house or anything like that. I don't want cats around my house, and neither do they, but I can't bring that cat in just to have it spayed and neutered. And I don't want to assume responsibility for it. So that's going to be a limiting factor on some of it, I think.
Shannon, am I correct when I say that doesn't necessarily mean you're taking responsibility except to bring the cat in to have it spayed or neutered?
That's correct. We're not assuming any responsibility other than offering the free transportation for the spay and neuter community cat program through the shelter and ASPCA.
But the only responsibility that the person that brings the cat in has is to come back and get it and to set it out.
That's correct.
Thank you.
Just a point to that, County Attorney. If you're signing a document that says that you're accepting responsibility for that animal, if that animal was to do something outside of the fact, you know, the county could always be subpoenaed for that document, and that could be used against them. Now, I'm for the program. I'm just, you know, telling somebody that they have to take responsibility for a feral or a non-feral community cat is 2 different things.
Yeah, I don't know if you've looked at the form, but the form I drafted has nothing to do with any individual accepting responsibility for the cat. It's just that they're releasing the county from any liability. I drafted it, say, ownership, because they have ownership of the animal or legal control of the animal, legal possession. And obviously, if they're not willing to sign the release form, then they've got no claim, something happens to the cat. So it's either you sign the release form, you get it free, spayed, or neutered, and you're releasing us from any liability if something happens along the way, the cat gets injured or dies in surgery or the rectal vein runs away. You either sign the form, you get that free service accepting the risk, or you don't sign the form, and then you have no complaint to make against us because you didn't assert any ownership in the cat to start with.
Shannon,
Yes, sir.
if it's considered a community cat and not a feral cat, I know you don't take feral cats at the animal shelter, but why can't you take the community cat at the animal shelter?
Okay, I had a little bit of trouble understanding you, but I think you're asking me, we don't take feral cats at the shelter, but we do take community cats. Is that your question?
Yeah, do you take if it's considered a community cat, will you take it at the shelter?
We take several community cats at the shelter and we hold them for 7 days. If those cats are not claimed by an owner, then we put them up for adoption. But keep in mind, the difference is a community cat can be tamed. It is not aggressive towards people. It can be handled. It can be picked up. A feral cat, you cannot pick them up. You cannot handle them. Pretty much you feed and water a feral cat and you let it do its own thing. A community cat is a cat that can be adopted back out.
Well, it ain't a community cat then, if you can't handle it, it's a feral cat.
That's correct.
Chairwoman Woodby,
Commissioner Jenkins, yes,
can I call a question on the motion? We beat this to death.
I'll get ready to say yes. Go ahead. It's not, we're gonna go ahead and Madam Clerk call the roll.
What's the motion?
She's in question on that.
Yeah,
Just basically
you're
solving
taking
the
a
discussion.
You're taking a vote to end the discussion.
Yeah, end of discussion.
It's 2/3 vote.
The answer yes, I guess.
Willie Campbell,
Call
Mark Blevins, Robert Acuff.
Aye.
Nancy Brown,
Aye.
Mike Hill,
Aye. God bless you, Randall.
Patty Woodby,
Yes.
Bradley Johnson,
Yes.
Mark Tester,
Aye.
Charles Von Cannon,
Yes.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Aye.
Jerry Prophet,
Aye.
Austin James,
Aye.
Ross Garland,
Aye.
Layla Ward,
Aye.
Ginger Holdren, Randall Jenkins,
Aye, and you're welcome, Mike.
Gary Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Aye.
Sonja Keller,
Aye.
Aaron Frazier,
Aye.
Robin McCamey,
Aye.
Kelly Collins,
Aye.
David Miller.
Motion passes.
Thank you, Commission, for your support.
That was just call the question, so now you got to vote.
Commissioner Hill, can you restate the motion?
With pleasure. I would like to make motion that the animal shelter is allowed to use the animal shelter van as necessary to transfer the feral cats for the free spay and neuter based on community interest.
The original second.
Very problem. So, aye. Second.
Commissioner Jenkins has seconded that. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Willie Campbell, Mark Bell Evans,
No.
Robert Acuff,
Aye.
Nancy Brown,
Aye.
Mike Hill,
Aye.
Patty Woodby,
Aye.
Brad Johnson, Mark Tester,
Aye.
Charles Von Cannon,
Aye.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Aye.
Jerry Prophet,
Aye.
Austin James,
Aye.
Ross Garland,
Aye.
Layla Ward, Ginger Holdren, Randall Jenkins, Gary Bailey,
No.
Travis Hill,
Aye.
Sonja Color,
Aye.
Aaron Frazier,
Aye.
Robin McCamey,
Aye.
Kelly Collins,
Aye.
David Miller, Layla Ward.
Aye.
Motion passes. Moving on to the resolutions, I'll turn that over to the county attorney.
Resolution A on the agenda is a resolution honoring the life of Truman Clark, his service to the citizens of Carter County. And usually I read these honorary ones, so unless someone has an objection, I'll just read it. Whereas Truman Clark was born on February 27, 1937 in Elizabeth, Tennessee, the son of William Ed Clark and Juanita Welch Clark. Whereas Mr. Clark was a graduate of Elizabeth High School, received training as a certified public administrator at the University of Tennessee, and was part owner of Clark Lumber Company for over 20 years. Whereas Mr. Clark served in the United States Army and was a retired captain in the reserves. Whereas Mr. Clark served his community and the citizens of Carter County as a member of the Carter County Board of Commissioners for 1 term and as county executive for 5 terms from 1982 to 2002. Whereas Mr. Clark served citizens of not just Carter County, but all of Northeast Tennessee with his service on many local boards, including but not limited to the Tennessee Advisory Commission on Intergovernmental Relations, First Tennessee Development District, Tennessee State Solid Waste Board, First Tennessee Human Resource Agency, and the Upper East Tennessee Human Development Agency. Whereas Mr. Clark was also very involved in the community throughout his life, was a past Master Mason at the Watauga Masonic Lodge in 622, York Rite, Scottish Rite, and Shriner, and also enjoyed coaching Little League Baseball in Carter County and serving as its district administrator. Whereas Truman Clark passed away on July 10, 2020, was greatly missed by all who knew him. Whereas his dedication to the citizens of Carter County and his community during his life clearly illustrates his character and leaves a great legacy and example for others to follow. Whereas it is appropriate for the Board of County Commissioners and Carter County Mayor to honor citizens whose selfless public service has benefited their community and the citizens of Carter County in significant ways. Now therefore be it resolved by the Board of County Commissioners of Carter County, Tennessee, meeting in regular session on this 17th day of August 2020, the lawful quorum of said board being present, and the majority voting in the affirmative, that the board hereby adopts this resolution, being joined by Carter County Mayor Russell Barnett, to recognize and honor the life of Truman Clark and his service to the citizens of Carter County during his lifetime.
Chairman.
Madam Chair, I move that we accept the resolution.
Second.
Motion by Commissioner Akers, second by who was second?
Mr. Garland, I had a second.
Commissioner Garland. Discussion.
Could I add a few things to this? Truman Clark and I went to elementary school together, and it says that he is a graduate of the University of Tennessee program, but he was also a graduate of East Tennessee State University, a college at the time. But more importantly, the reason he got his commission in the United States Army was he was the commandant of all the ROTC programs at East Tennessee State from a cadet standpoint. So Truman had good credentials in both management, and he had great credentials in the military. And I served with him for several years in a committee in Kingsport, and he was always asking budget questions because I think that was his forte. Even here, as a county executive, his forte was the budget. And he operated the budget office with very few people because he had it mostly in his head. Good man.
Any further discussion on the resolution?
Yes, Miss Woodby, I'd like to say I spoke to Mike Clark, the son of Truman, and I think he's on the line with us, I do believe. And I'm not sure if Larry's here, another son, but I was going to, if they wanted the opportunity to, say anything or present us with anything like that, I was going to give them a chance just to open that up if they were there listening right now.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can. Is that Larry?
This is Larry, yes. Just want to thank the commission for the resolution. Appreciate that, and the family can't say that enough. Thank you very much, and thanks for y'all's consideration.
Yeah. We thank you, Larry and Mike, for being on here and being part of this, and Mr. Acuff for presenting this, and just a distinguished man, a distinguished family, and we were lucky to have him serve the Carter County for 20 years as executive, 4 years as commissioner, and just as the other hours he spent youth leagues and certainly his service to our country and through the Army and the Reserve. So thank you guys for being on here, and Dr. Acuff for bringing this to us.
Commissioner Woodby,
Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Commissioner Tester.
I'd like to add something to that. Truman Clark was a friend of all our family. He was our neighbor, and you could not ask for a finer Christian man, and he lived it every day.
I agree. I think he was a very respected man in our community. This was a great resolution, very much so. Thank you, Dr. Acuff, for presenting that. Any further discussion or comments on the resolution? Anybody else on the line that would like to make a statement about Truman? Seeing nothing else? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Willie Campbell. Mark Levins. Robert Acuff.
Aye.
Nancy Brown.
Aye.
Mike Hill.
Aye.
Patty Woodby. Brad Johnson.
Aye.
Mark Tester.
Aye.
Charles Von Cannon.
Aye.
Isaiah Grindstaff.
Aye.
Jerry Prophet.
Aye.
Austin James.
Aye.
Ross Garland.
Aye.
Layla Ward.
Aye.
Ginger Holdren. Randall Jenkins.
Aye.
Gary Bailey.
Yes.
Travis Hill.
Aye.
Sandra Culler.
Aye.
Aaron Frazier.
Aye.
Robin McCamey.
Aye.
Kelly Collins.
Aye.
David Miller.
Motion carried. Moving on to the next resolution, Resolution B.
This is a resolution commemorating the centennial of the ratification of the 19th Amendment to the United States Constitution. And I will point out for Mr. Von Cannon, I see there on the 6th whereas, it should be 1920 instead of 20. So I'll make that correction on the final word.
8 days after
Yes, sir.
the Tennessee passed it, the United States Secretary of State then signed the resolution.
I got the date mixed up there, so I'll make that correction. But otherwise, the resolution is just what it says. There was significant part played in Tennessee in the ratification of this amendment, of Tennessee becoming the last state needed to ratify, passed by one vote. If anybody wants me to read the entire resolution, I will, but that's the summary.
I make a motion to accept Commissioner Brown from 2nd District.
Motion from Commissioner Brown.
Second.
Layla Ward.
Commissioner Ward. Any discussion? Any further discussion on the resolution?
I just say that the one vote, and that was by a Tennessee man in the lower house. His name is Burns, last name was Burns. His mother convinced him to vote to ratify the amendment, and Tennessee then became the state that put it over the top. This amendment had been offered many years before. And to get three quarters of states to vote, some states have been added in the meantime. From the time it was put on the books until it was passed. As a matter of fact, a black man could vote before a white woman in the United States. Check it out. An American Indian never wasn't able to vote until about 1960. Check that out. So voting has been all over the board in this country. But we need to vote, period.
Thank you, Commissioner Buchanan. Any further discussion?
Chairwoman, if I may, this is Ginger Holdren.
Yes, Commissioner Holden.
I just want to say thank you to everybody that had a part in writing this resolution and bringing it to us. Most notably, the women in politics, so to speak, of the Republican and Democratic parties of Carter County. They kind of got this ball rolling, and other activities are hopefully going to come in the future if we're ever able to get back together again. They've got some things lined up to continue the celebration of this. I want to thank the commission for considering this resolution tonight. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Holden. Any further discussion?
Madam Chair, would be ACUF First District, I want to extend our great appreciation to Commissioner Holdren for bringing this to Health and Welfare. She's been very active in the community along with others, as she mentioned, but it would not have made the resolution stage had she not continued to push. So we owe her a great deal of thanks. Thank you.
Thank you. Anyone else, further discussion? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Willie Campbell.
Aye.
Mark Blevins.
Aye.
Robert Acuff.
Aye.
Nancy Brown.
Aye.
Mike Hill.
Aye.
Patty Woodby.
Aye.
Bradley Johnson.
Aye.
Mark Tester.
Aye.
Charles Von Cannon.
Aye.
Isaiah Grindstaff.
Aye.
Jerry Prophet.
Aye.
Austin James.
Aye.
Ross Garland.
Aye.
Layla Ward.
Aye.
Ginger Holdren.
Aye.
Randall Jenkins.
Aye.
Gary Bailey.
Yes.
Travis Hill.
Aye.
Sonja Kohler.
Aye.
Aaron Frazier.
Aye.
Robin McCamey.
Aye.
Kelly Collins.
Aye.
David Miller.
Motion passes. Moving on to resolution C.
This is a resolution to recognize the value of the instruction provided in the Criminal Justice Correctional Officer Program at Tennessee College of Applied Technology and support the statewide expansion of the program. Essentially, this resolution is just recognizing the program filed at Keith and Elizabeth by Mr. Miles Cook, and there are plans of potentially expanding the program statewide to train others, and it provides a great service here. And so this is just simply the commission supporting that effort to expand.
Madam Chair, I'd like to make that motion. We accept Isaiah Grindstaff.
Second, Mike Hill, District 2.
Any discussion?
Chairman,
Yes.
I would just like to say that we had Miles Cook was kind enough to come on and talk to us a bit about this groundbreaking program that he's put together. This could be one of our best exports in recent years. So I was proud to bring this up through Law Enforcement Committee.
Any further discussion on the resolution? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Willie Campbell.
Aye.
Mark Blevins.
Aye.
Robert Acuff.
Aye.
Nancy Brown.
Aye.
Mike Hill.
Aye.
Patty Woodby.
Aye.
Bradley Johnson.
Aye.
Mark Tester.
Aye.
Charles Von Cannon,
Aye.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Aye.
Jerry Prophet,
Aye.
Austin James,
Aye.
Ross Garland,
Aye.
Layla Ward,
Aye.
Ginger Holdren,
Aye.
Randall Jenkins,
Aye.
Gary Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Aye.
Sonja Color,
Aye.
Aaron Frazier,
Aye.
Robin McCamey,
Aye.
Kelly Collins,
Aye.
David Miller.
Motion passes. Moving on to resolution D.
This is a resolution approving a ground lease agreement between Carter County, Tennessee and United Telephone Southeast LLC, doing business as CenturyLink, for a tract of real property consisting of approximately 0.03 acres located at 386 Highway 91 in Elizabeth. This is on the grounds of the workforce development complex right near the intersection, not the intersection, but over toward Judge Dunlew's Boulevard, a very small piece of ground. As you recall, it was leased for the last 20 years for $1,500 total. This is the lease for the next 25 years for $500 a year, and pays back for the $500 per year for 3 years that passed last one expired.
Motion to approve, Mark Blevins.
Motion to approve, Commissioner Blevins.
Second, Mark Tester.
Second, Commissioner Von Cannon. Any discussion?
Thank you, Josh, for working on this as much as you have.
Any further discussion? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Willie Campbell,
Aye.
Mark Blevins,
Aye.
Robert Acuff,
Aye.
Nancy Brown,
Aye.
Mike Hill,
Aye.
Patty Woodby,
Aye.
Bradley Johnson,
Aye.
Mark Tester,
Aye.
Charles Von Cannon,
Aye.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Aye.
Jerry Prophet,
Aye.
Austin James,
Aye.
Ross Garland,
Aye.
Layla Ward,
Aye.
Ginger Holdren,
Aye.
Randall Jenkins,
Aye.
Gary Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Aye.
Sonja Color,
Aye.
Aaron Frazier,
Aye.
Robin McCamey,
Aye.
Kelly Collins,
Aye.
David Miller.
Motion passes. Moving on to resolution E.
This is a resolution authorizing the issuance of not to exceed $16,400,000 in aggregate principal amount of federally taxable general obligation refunding bonds of Carter County, Tennessee, making provision for the issuance, sale, and payment of said bonds, establishing the terms thereof, disposition of proceeds therefrom, and providing the levy of taxes for the payment of principal of premium, if any, and interest on the bonds. And along with this, there was separately, you should have got the report from the comptroller's office about the resolution. And as to the specifics of it, I hope Mr. Burke's on the line to explain.
Motion to approve.
Second, Aaron
Isaiah
Frazier.
Grindstaff.
Motion by Commissioner Travis Hill. I did not see that.
Second, Aaron Frazier.
Second, Commissioner Aaron Frazier. Any discussion?
What's the, obviously, refinancing, you're gonna save some money. What's the, total?
Commissioner Burke on the line.
I am. The option one is estimated at 2.1 million. Of course, that can't be guaranteed. As we get closer to market, we'll have a better idea of what we're talking about. But the budget committee did set a threshold of $1.8 million. If past that point, if it's lower than 1.8 million, then we wouldn't do the refunding.
So,
Is this refinancing the jail bonds?
yes,
The jail bonds.
yes, it's refinancing those.
Mark Tester, this is the one that you've been working on?
Yes, the budget committee has been working on it, Mr. Von Cannon. They had 4 options that we were talking about, and
This is what we've been suggesting for 2 or 3 years.
well, I don't know about that because I haven't been here that long, but the budget committee, this is a recommendation, and I fully agree with it, Mr. Von Cannon.
It said that, like Mr. Burke said, the mayor is authorized by this resolution to pull the trigger on sale. They set a limit, and if they're not gonna save at least 1.8 million, he's gonna back out.
Yeah, for the market.
Any further discussion? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Willie Campbell, Mark Levins, Robert Acuff,
Aye.
Nancy Brown,
Aye.
Mike Hill,
Aye.
Patty Woodby,
Aye.
Bradley Johnson,
Aye.
Mark Tester,
Aye.
Charles Von Cannon,
Aye.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Aye.
Gary Prophet,
Aye.
Austin James,
Aye.
Ross Garland,
Aye.
Layla Ward,
Aye.
Ginger Holdren,
Aye.
Randall Jenkins,
Aye.
Gary Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Aye.
Sonja Kohler,
Aye.
Aaron Frazier,
Aye.
Robin McCamey,
Aye.
Kelly Collins,
Aye.
David Miller.
Motion passes. Let's take a 15-minute break and let everybody stretch and come back. Don't mind.
Did you say 15 minutes?
If
You guys at home can take a break.
You guys should be at home.
Hey.
That is me.
Well,
Is everybody back on? We'll call the meeting back to order. Mayor, do you want to go ahead and do your report?
Yes, please. Just briefly, we'll start out. COVID-19 still running strong. We tested 160 today. Active cases is 481. 6 deaths, and tomorrow there'll probably be another update tomorrow, which he just come in late, so they'll update some different things tomorrow. So cases are still pretty high. I'll let Doc Acuff talk about the autopsies. We've got a report on that. I do have a 911 board appointment. This gentleman, we had one person that was interested. We had a vacancy. His name was Bobby McNeil. He's an he was an ex-director at 911 in Washington County. He retired from there, and he lives in Carter County. He's wanting to serve on our board, and I got a recommendation from the 911 board, and I would like to get approval to appoint Mr. Bobby McNeil to the 911 board. Mr. Chairman, do I need a motion on that?
Chairman, Commissioner Hill, District 2, I'll make that motion.
Commissioner Hill made the motion.
Second, Mark Tester.
Second, Mark Tester. Any discussion or questions about Mr. McNeil? For the mayor?
Just to clarify this, the mayor appoints the person and the county commission confirms it, so mayor has appointed this gentleman and you are voting to confirm.
Yeah, I just want your blessings, yes.
Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Willie Campbell. Mark Levins. Robert Acuff. Nancy Brown. Mike Hill.
Aye.
Patty Woodby. Bradley Johnson. Mark Tester. Charles Von Cannon. Isaiah Grindstaff.
Aye.
Jerry Prophet.
Aye.
Austin James.
Aye.
Ross Garland.
Aye.
Layla Ward.
Aye.
Ginger Holdren. Randall Jenkins. Gary Bailey.
Yes.
Travis Hill.
Aye.
Sonja Kohler. Aaron Frazier.
Aye.
Robin McCamey.
Aye.
Kelly Collins. Kelly Collins.
Aye.
David Miller.
Motion passes.
Thank you. Just an update, building and grounds. The other night we had Dr. Flora, whatever, she's got a married name now, I can't remember, but she was on we're still in good discussions with Northeast. They're planning on staying with us. They're back on campus. I think they're coming in phases. I think that's what she said. So we're still talking with the Northeast State. Hopefully get the parking lot striped here soon. Okay. Still, I don't know if I brought it up last month or not. I'm still talking with officials about the Northeast Tennessee annex at the prison. Like I said, I need all the support I can get to keep them from closing that. Their talks of it's still down the line, but they're still talking about closing it. We're down to 110 inmates, and maximum is 180. And a lot of Carter County people work there, and I think we need to try to fight to keep that if we can. They send work groups out everywhere. I mean, Corner's vehicle got it in. It's in Newland, North Carolina, getting the radio system put in. I'm really anxious for Benny to get in a new vehicle, and hopefully that he's driving, we can make it to the dump. I don't know if it'll make it or not, but excited about him getting get his new vehicle, and he's very excited. So, sure, Mr. Burke might touch on this in a few minutes about the Tennessee CARES Act. We got a I think it's a good surprise. We got some funding from that, $845,265 from the Tennessee CARES Act. That's very good there. So that's, Mr. Burke might want to touch on that later. Mask mandate, I know that's not a very popular thing, but it goes through Saturday, August 29th, 11:59. Then we'll play it by ear then, see what we're going to do. But as right now, the cases are not going down any. They're still wide open, so we'll see how that goes come August 29th. Finally, some good news on the resort, Blue Montana. As of Friday, we got good news Friday. TDEC finally come around and approved the stormwater permits, and hopefully sometime this week they're going to approve the sewer. So that's what we're looking for. It's what we've been waiting on, so we can get some things rolling. And one other thing I was going to bring up the other night. I was just going to see what you guys think. It's a Logitech group conference, $1,850. That's the upgrade. I don't know all this. Mr. Bailey gave me all this, 6 cat lines, and one of them's for the mayor's conference room, one's for the courtroom, one's for the jury room. I might let Mr. Bailey tell you more about that. We just need a little funding on this.
Okay, at the end of last month's meeting, I asked you all to let me look at getting something better where we don't have to have 3 laptops, a speaker, a mic, and all that stuff in there. Basically, Logitech makes a thing called a group meeting conference system. It actually has 3 microphones, 1 great big one and 2 small ones that spreads out about 15 foot each from each other. That way, you actually, with what's going on in the courtroom right now, people could actually hear and be able to, from the other end, to hear what's being said. That conference system is about $1,850 for all the pieces. If anybody would like to see one, we bought one for the school for our board thing, and it's actually in over there. It's actually made for a group meeting up to 20 to 30 people. And the lines, basically what I was asking, that's a separate part, is for 6 lines. 2 to be put in this room right here, 2 in the courtroom, 2 back there where the jurors sit. That way, if we continue to have these meetings, we ain't got no lag. That way I got somewhere to hook up, or Eunice or whoever's doing this. But the whole total package should be...
Gary, we can't hear you.
I can't hear you, I'm right at it.
We can't hear you, Gary.
Not muted. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
Okay, the whole thing is about $3,650. It's 2 separate parts. One part is around $1,800. That's to have 6 lines put in. 2 in here, 2 in the courtroom, and 2 back there where the jurors sit. The other system is made by Logitech. It's a group meeting system. Basically, you would have 3 speakers where we could spread out where you all are in there, where people on the other end could hear what's being said. We have one. Ours came in, and we put it at the school if anybody'd like to see it. But what we're doing, it would make this a lot easier and clearer on the other end for everybody that's involved. So I'm asking you to look at that and let me know, but I thought it was brought up in Buildings and Grounds, and it wasn't, so I'm bringing it up now.
Do we need to bring this up next month, or what do we need to do on this? Let's bring it up next month.
That dollar figure, and let's get that amount approved and move forward.
It's $3,650.
I make a motion that we approve $3,650 allow Commissioner Bailey to move forward with this sound system for the courtroom.
I'll second it. Mark Tester.
Motion by Austin James, second by Commissioner Mark Tester. Any discussion?
Ross has a question, looks
Yeah,
like.
Chairman Woodby. Yeah, I've got a question. I wonder if, where we're doing this to kind of help out our Zoom meetings, if we could use this CARES Act money for that, possibly. Might be a question for Brad, more or less.
I'm not sure, but I will check on it, see if that qualifies. If not, there's always the state governor stimulus money.
Yeah. Either one be fine on that, wouldn't it?
I think it would certainly be related to COVID-19, so I think it very well may qualify for the CARES Act money.
Yeah, be good. That's all I've got.
Any further discussion, any questions?
Chairman, I would be remiss. May I be recognized, Commissioner Hill, District 2?
You're muted.
I'm sorry, I'm not anymore. I would be remiss if I didn't point out that we just did 3 years ago, upgrade the sound system and all the tech in the courtroom. So I hope this is better than the last round. And I appreciate your hard work, Mr. Bailey. This sounds like a pretty good approach.
This, Mr. Hill, this is not replacing the stuff under the thing. This is just for a group meeting where I have the camera in there and 2 laptops and a speaker. This thing is actually made for a group meeting. So, I mean, it's nothing to do with the sound or any of that under that desk. This is totally separate.
I get that, but what we've had's been problematic in several ways. Anyhow, we need something because, just getting off the blocks tonight to start the meeting was pretty rough.
Any further discussion?
Madam Chair, ACUF First District. Question to Attorney Harden. I'm a little disappointed because I can't hear, and I would imagine that the folks who are tuning in as our constituents cannot hear any better, particularly inside the courtroom. Are we adhering to the intent of the letter of the law that was issued regarding having commissioners in the same room, and instead of all of us in separate rooms with our either on the telephone or using technology on our laptops?
The short answer is yes, I think so. It's not perfect. I understand there's some technological shortcomings. You could actually read that to, essentially it says a physical quorum doesn't have to be present in the same location. So a literal reading of that would indicate that you have some here, some on Zoom at home. My thoughts have always been that everybody should be on Zoom at home if possible, but it just hasn't worked out that way in reality. So I still think we're in compliance as long as there's live public access, and I believe there's also an audio recording made within 2 days after the fact. So we are in compliance with the Open Meetings Act, and I believe we are in compliance with the executive order as it is. And I understand, it's sometimes hard to hear. I think there's nobody here purposefully or willfully doing anything wrong, and we're trying to maybe purchase some more equipment that is better. So I think we're definitely making a good faith effort to comply with everything, but like all things in reality, it's just not perfect.
Yeah. Oh, I'm not accusing anybody of doing anything incorrect or you all whispering. The problem is that when this recording, or if you're lit, or if you're on live, you can't hear what's being said in the courtroom. So if there's any discussion back and forth, our constituents are missing out on it by and large.
Yeah, I agree that the in-person setup here is not as good as it is for folks at home, and I wish I knew how to fix that other than spending money. And I think it looks like you all are maybe considering that tonight. But all I can say is, from my perspective, if there's any debate going on in the courtroom, I'm making sure that at least it's done when the mic is on. So, if there's audio issues beyond that, it's unfortunately beyond my capability.
Thank you.
Any further discussion? Everybody's aware of the motion? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Willie Campbell.
Aye.
Mark Blevins.
Aye.
Robert Acuff.
Aye.
Nancy Brown.
Aye.
Mike Hill.
Aye.
Patty Woodby.
Aye.
Bradley Johnson.
Aye.
Mark Tester.
Aye.
Charles Von Cannon.
Aye.
Isaiah Grindstaff.
Aye.
Jerry Prophet.
Aye.
Austin James.
Aye.
Ross Garland.
Aye.
Layla Ward.
Aye.
Ginger Holdren.
Aye.
Randall Jenkins.
Aye.
Gary Bailey.
Yes.
Travis Hill.
Aye.
Sonja Color.
Aye.
Aaron Frazier.
Aye.
Robin McCamey.
Aye.
Kelly Collins.
Aye.
David Miller.
Motion carries.
Thank you guys for that. That's very well needed. We can tell from tonight. That's all I have. If you have any questions for me,
Anybody have any questions for the mayor?
thank you guys.
Thank you, Mayor. We'll move into committee reports. We'll begin with budget. Chairman Garland, budget committee.
All right. Thank you, Madam Chair. I'll go ahead and get down to business here, and I'll start with motions. First one, I'll make a motion to approve an amendment for the governor's local government support grant in the amount of $18,248.96 to be used to update the finance department server.
I second Isaiah Grindstaff.
We have a motion and a second by Commissioner Grindstaff. Any discussion? Motion, Chairman Garland. Second, Grindstaff. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Willie Campbell.
Aye.
Mark Blevins.
Aye.
Robert Acuff.
Aye.
Nancy Brown.
Aye.
Mike Hill.
Aye.
Patty Woodby.
Aye.
Bradley Johnson.
Aye.
Mark Tester.
Aye.
Charles Von Cannon.
Aye.
Isaiah Grindstaff.
Aye.
Gary Prophet.
Aye.
Austin James.
Aye.
Ross Garland.
Aye.
Layla Ward.
Aye.
Ginger Holdren.
Aye.
Randall Jenkins.
Aye.
Gary Bailey.
Yes.
Travis Hill.
Aye.
Sonja Color.
Aye.
Aaron Frazier.
Aye.
Robin McCamey.
Aye.
Kelly Collins.
Aye.
David Miller.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next item, I'll move to approve an amendment from the same local government support grant line, amount of $3,672.13. And this will be used for the animal shelter. This is $1,595 used for installing security cameras. $2,077.13 will be used to obtain a new laptop and desktop computer.
Sonja Color, I second.
Motion, Commissioner Garland, second by Commissioner Color. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Willie Campbell.
No.
Mark Blevins.
No.
Robert Acuff.
Aye.
Nancy Brown.
Aye.
Mike Hill.
Aye.
Patty Woodby.
Aye.
Bradley Johnson.
Aye.
Mark Tester.
No.
Charles Von Cannon.
No.
Isaiah Grindstaff.
Aye.
Gary Prophet.
No.
Austin James.
No.
Ross Garland.
Aye.
Layla Ward.
Aye.
Ginger Holdren,
No.
Randall Jenkins,
Aye.
Gary Bailey,
No.
Travis Hill,
Aye.
Sandra Culler,
Aye.
Aaron Frazier,
Aye.
Robin McCamey,
Aye.
Kelly Collins,
Aye.
David Miller.
Motion carries.
All right. And the next one was, we talked about the resolution and approved it, but this is, I'll make the motion to approve allowing the mayor to move forward with option one from the county's new debt advisor, Raymond James.
Second, Commissioner Hill, District 2.
Motion by Commissioner Garland, second by Commissioner Hill. Any discussion on the motion?
Let me restate this also, that if the savings aren't above 1.8 million, that the mayor we can reject that.
Any further discussion? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Billy Campbell, Mark Blevins, Robert Acuff,
Aye.
Nancy Brown,
Aye.
Mike Hill,
Aye.
Patty Woodby,
Aye.
Bradley Johnson, Mark Tester,
Aye.
Charles Von Cannon,
Aye.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Aye.
Jerry Prophet,
Aye.
Austin James,
Aye.
Ross Garland,
Aye.
Layla Ward,
Aye.
Ginger Holdren,
Aye.
Randall Jenkins,
Aye.
Gary Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Aye.
Sandra Culler,
Aye.
Aaron Frazier,
Aye.
Robin McCamey,
Aye.
Kelly Collins,
Aye.
David Miller,
Motion carries.
All right. The next, I move to approve an amendment of the 2020 annual inflation adjustment to the financial assurance for the Carter County demolition landfill. That's this annual thing that we have to approve. There is a slight increase this year, $17,393.75, but we'll take approval.
Motion to approve. Second.
Motion by Commissioner Garland.
Second by Sandra Culler.
Sandra Culler.
Can I ask what that is?
Let's see.
Performance assurance bond that the county agrees to pay for the post-closure of the demolition landfill.
Thank you.
Gary, that is included in the budget minutes if you want to take a good look at it, but that's an annual thing that we gotta approve every year.
Okay, thank you.
Any further discussion? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Billy Campbell, Mark Blevins, Robert Acuff,
Aye.
Nancy Brown,
Aye.
Mike Hill,
Aye.
Patty Woodby,
Aye.
Bradley Johnson,
Aye.
Mark Tester,
Aye.
Charles Von Cannon, Isaiah Grindstaff,
Aye.
Jerry Prophet,
Aye.
Austin James,
Aye.
Ross Garland,
Aye.
Layla Ward,
Aye.
Ginger Holdren,
Aye.
Randall Jenkins,
Aye.
Gary Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Aye.
Sandra Culler,
Aye.
Aaron Frazier,
Aye.
Robin McCamey,
Aye.
Kelly Collins,
Aye.
David Miller.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you. Next, I'll put in the form of a motion is to declare miscellaneous equipment items and one cannibalized vehicle from the sheriff's department as surplus.
You couldn't resist, could you, Ralston?
I had to do it. Oh.
I'll second that motion.
Second, Commissioner Mark Tester. Any discussion on the cannibalized vehicle?
That also includes a lot of the sheriff's department, a lot of hardware, office hardware, and some software from their offices.
Could I ask what kind of vehicle it was? Is it a Ford, a Chevy?
I think it's a Crown Vic, I believe, an older one. Ford.
It's a 2006 Crown Vic that was no longer operational, and they, as Ross kindly put it, cannibalized the vehicle. So they took parts off of it to work on the other Crown Vics that were in the fleet at the time, and it's just there's no usable parts that we could utilize anymore.
Thank you for the clarification.
Thanks, Isaiah.
You're welcome.
Any further discussion? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Willie Campbell.
Aye.
Mark Blevins.
Aye.
Robert Acuff.
Aye.
Nancy Brown.
Aye.
Mike Hill.
Aye.
Patty Woodby.
Aye.
Bradley Johnson.
Aye.
Mark Tester.
Aye.
Charles Von Cannon.
Aye.
Isaiah Grindstaff.
Aye.
Jerry Prophet.
Aye.
Austin James.
Aye.
Ross Garland.
Aye.
Layla Ward. Layla Ward.
Aye.
Ginger Holdren.
Aye.
Randall Jenkins.
Aye.
Gary Bailey.
Yes.
Travis Hill.
Aye.
Sandra Culler.
Aye.
Aaron Frazier.
Aye.
Robin McCamey.
Aye.
Kelly Collins.
Aye.
David Miller.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you. Next item, I'll put the form of a motion to approve the proposal from Stellar Stropping in the amount of $3,489, coming from one line item going into another line item to be used to strip the parking lot at the Workforce Development Center.
Austin James, second that motion.
Motion, Commissioner Garland, second by Commissioner James. Any discussion?
Basically, that's no new money. Let me just say that. That's nothing from fund balance. Those line items, I just got numbers in front of me on this.
Any questions or discussions? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Willie Campbell.
Aye.
Mark Blevins.
Aye.
Robert Acuff.
Aye.
Nancy Brown.
Aye.
Mike Hill.
Aye.
Patty Woodby.
Aye.
Bradley Johnson.
Aye.
Mark Tester.
Aye.
Charles Von Cannon.
Aye.
Isaiah Grindstaff.
Aye.
Jerry Prophet.
Aye.
Austin James.
Aye.
Ross Garland.
Aye.
Layla Ward.
Aye.
Ginger Holdren.
Aye.
Randall Jenkins.
Aye.
Gary Bailey.
Yes.
Travis Hill.
Aye.
Sandra Culler.
Aye.
Aaron Frazier.
Aye.
Robin McCamey.
Aye.
Kelly Collins.
Aye.
David Miller.
Motion carries.
Thank you. Next item, put in the form of a motion is to approve the proposal from Keller Glass in the amount of $4,212. This money coming from the CARES Act line will be used for a partition in the property assessor's office due to COVID concerns.
Austin James, I second the motion.
Motion by Commissioner Garland, second, Commissioner Austin James. Any discussion on the motion? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Willie Campbell.
Aye.
Mark Blevins.
Aye.
Robert Acuff.
Aye.
Nancy Brown.
Aye.
Mike Hill.
Aye.
Patty Woodby.
Aye.
Bradley Johnson.
Aye.
Mark Tester.
Aye.
Charles Von Cannon.
Aye.
Isaiah Grindstaff.
Aye.
Jerry Prophet.
Aye.
Austin James.
Aye.
Ross Garland.
Aye.
Layla Ward.
Aye.
Ginger Holdren.
Aye.
Randall Jenkins.
Aye.
Gary Bailey.
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Aye.
Sandra Color,
Aye.
Aaron Frazier,
Aye.
Robin McCamey,
Aye.
Kelly Collins,
Aye.
David Miller.
Motion carries.
All right, and we'll start with this. Will be our budget amendments that follow the list, general fund, and all that. So if you do want to follow along, if you got the paperwork, or if you want to pull it up on your computer, but this will, if you have questions or something you think about. But first item I put in the form of a motion is General Fund 101, Amendment Number 2, 6 items, a total of $927,672.89. Nothing from unassigned fund balance.
Second.
Motion, Commissioner Garland, second, Commissioner Bailey.
Yes.
Any discussion? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Willie Campbell, Mark Blevins, Robert Acuff,
Aye.
Nancy Brown,
Aye.
Mike Hill,
Aye.
Patty Woodby,
Aye.
Bradley Johnson, Mark Tester,
You're muted, Mark.
Aye.
Charles Von Cannon,
Aye.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Aye.
Jerry Prophet,
Aye.
Austin James,
Aye.
Ross Garland,
Aye.
Layla Ward,
Aye.
Ginger Holdren, Randall Jenkins,
Aye.
Gary Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Aye.
Sandra Color,
Aye.
Aaron Frazier,
Aye.
Robin McCamey,
Aye.
Kelly Collins,
Aye.
David Miller.
Motion carries.
All right. Next, I'll move to approve General Purpose School Fund 141, Amendment Number 1, total of $25,233.44. Nothing from unassigned fund balance.
We have a second.
I'll second it.
Motion, Commissioner Garland, second by Commissioner Campbell. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Willie Campbell, Mark Blevins, Robert Acuff,
Aye.
Nancy Brown,
Aye.
Mike Hill,
Aye.
Patty Woodby,
Aye.
Bradley Johnson, Mark Tester,
Aye.
Charles Von Cannon,
Aye.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Aye.
Jerry Prophet,
Aye.
Austin James,
Aye.
Ross Garland,
Aye.
Layla Ward,
Aye.
Ginger Holdren, Randall Jenkins,
Aye.
Gary Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Aye.
Sandra Color,
Aye.
Aaron Frazier,
Aye.
Robin McCamey,
Aye.
Kelly Collins,
Aye.
David Miller.
Motion carries.
All right. Next, I move to approve School Federal Projects Fund 142, Amendment 1, a total of $1,626,075.01. Nothing from fund balance.
Second, Layla Ward.
Motion, Commissioner Garland, second, Commissioner Ward. Any discussion on the motion? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Willie Campbell, Mark Blevins, Robert Acuff,
Aye.
Nancy Brown,
Aye.
Mike Hill,
Aye.
Patty Woodby,
Aye.
Bradley Johnson, Mark Tester,
Aye.
Charles Von Cannon, Isaiah Grindstaff,
Aye.
Jerry Prophet,
Aye.
Austin James,
Aye.
Ross Garland,
Aye.
Layla Ward,
Aye.
Ginger Holdren, Randall Jenkins,
Aye.
Gary Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Aye.
Sandra Color,
Aye.
Aaron Frazier,
Aye.
Robin McCamey,
Aye.
Kelly Collins,
Aye.
David Miller.
Motion carries.
All right, next, make a motion to approve Head Start Fund 145, Amendment Number 1, total of $80,700. Nothing from the Head Start Fund balance.
Second, Sandra Color.
Motion by Commissioner Garland. I think that was a second ahead of you, Sandra, by Commissioner Collins.
No problem.
Any discussion? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Willie Campbell, Mark Blevins, Robert Acuff,
Aye.
Nancy Brown,
Aye.
Mike Hill,
Aye.
Patty Woodby,
Aye.
Bradley Johnson,
Aye.
Mark Tester,
Aye.
Charles Von Cannon,
Aye.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Aye.
Jerry Prophet,
Aye.
Austin James,
Aye.
Ross Garland,
Aye.
Layla Ward,
Aye.
Ginger Holdren,
Aye.
Randall Jenkins,
Aye.
Jerry Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Aye.
Sandra Color,
Aye.
Aaron Frazier,
Aye.
Robin McCamey,
Aye.
Kelly Collins,
Aye.
David Miller.
Motion carries.
Next item, motion to approve monetary donations made to the animal shelter, total of $3,017, and donations also to Carter County Schools in the amount of $675.
Motion, Aaron Frazier, seventh.
Motion, Commissioner Garland, second. Commissioner Frazier. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Willie Campbell, Mark Blevins, Robert Acuff,
Aye.
Nancy Brown,
Aye.
Mike Hill,
Aye.
Patty Woodby,
Aye.
Bradley Johnson,
Aye.
Mark Tester,
Aye.
Charles Von Cannon,
Aye.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Aye.
Jerry Prophet,
Aye.
Austin James,
Aye.
Ross Garland,
Aye.
Layla Ward,
Aye.
Ginger Holdren,
Aye.
Randall Jenkins,
Aye.
Gary Bailey,
Yeah.
Travis Hill,
Aye.
Sandra Color,
Aye.
Aaron Frazier,
Aye.
Robin McCamey,
Aye.
Kelly Collins,
Aye.
David Miller.
Motion carries.
All right, thank you. And next item, motion to approve non-monetary donations from Walmart made to the animal shelter, approximately $615.71.
I'll make that second, Madam Chair. Isaiah Grindstaff.
Motion, Commissioner Garland, second. Commissioner Grindstaff. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Willie Campbell, Mark Blevins, Robert Acuff,
Aye.
Nancy Brown,
Aye.
Mike Hill,
Aye.
Patty Woodby,
Aye.
Bradley Johnson,
Aye.
Mark Tester,
Aye.
Charles Von Cannon,
Aye.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Aye.
Jerry Prophet,
Aye.
Austin James,
Aye.
Ross Garland,
Aye.
Layla Ward,
Aye.
Ginger Holdren,
Aye.
Randall Jenkins,
Aye.
Gary Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Aye.
Sandra Color,
Aye.
Aaron Frazier,
Aye.
Robin McCamey,
Aye.
Kelly Collins,
Aye.
David Miller.
Motion carries.
All right. Last, certainly not least, we spoke in budget about presenting the planning budget back up again that we did approve because we felt that There wasn't much transparency on that budget. It was never presented to us as a full commission when we made that approval of the 2021 budget. So we were going to bring that up to the floor again. I think Brad was able to send out that what was approved. I mean, what was, I guess, what they recommended for this year, and the memo also that was sent out today. I don't know if hopefully everybody's had a pretty good chance to check that out, but that was going to be brought up for discussion again. And I think, Chris, are you on the line with us this evening?
I sure am.
Okay. Would you, anything you'd like to add or say, or kind of just offer any clarification?
Well, yeah, I didn't see this until one of the commissioners sent it to me about an hour. Now it's been about 3 hours ago now, 2.5. I did get our the minutes and the tape recording from the budget committee meeting that we had, that I pulled wool over everybody's eyes. And I took it down minute by minute, and we were there for about 45 minutes on our budget. And the clarifications, I met the clarifications of what we agreed on there and brought it before you. I did send out this afternoon because AG says that his opinion, or their opinion, was back in the 90s that minutes should not be sent out until that committee has abilities to approve those. So that's why I only send our finalized and approved minutes to the county court clerk's office, Ms. Googe, and we have not had a planning commission meeting since that June meeting. So I went ahead and sent those drafts out so it gives some clarification. Those are not official minutes till approved. I did look at Mr. Burke's information here. He has on line number 3, GIS costs. That is our ESRI contract, and that's materials that's also utilized within the GIS department here over at the Planning Commission. Then you have the TDEC information, and the 3550 is our MS4 permit that is required every year by the state of Tennessee. The other is the actual operation cost of the stormwater program, and the other 5100 is our testing that we have to do and maintain our high value streams and our 303D streams. Also, on number 5 towards the bottom, it said it was an increase of $28,051. That's $28,154. That was actually a decrease, and that $56,000 and $56,500 that Mr. Burke has there is also that money that we always got an argument every budgetary cycle. So evidently now he's in agreement with me that that is pass through money that, you know, that we had to reimburse the general fund with through our building permits and electrical permits, things of that nature that comes through. And being one of the highest office paying back into the general fund, you know, I think that's pretty interesting there. The only changes that did not get before you, and no one requested a copy of it, and I apologize. On the 25th of June, I've got a draft on my computer. I meant to send it, did not, but I did send a copy of where I sent it to Mr. Burke on the 24th of July when he requested it from me. Planning Commission minutes, nobody from his office has requested those from our office, so I'm not real sure where we're going with that. Also, the discussion, and we can go minute by minute on the June 8th meeting. The only discussion we had was the 141 line item of $2,896.19, and to remove that from the 141, and no GIS personnel, additional personnel. So that's where we went with that. And that meets the criteria of everything that was in the voiced recording of the meeting. So there was no wool to be pulled, and I apologize, but I feel like other than moving forward, I gave you the information that there was going to be a $7,000, almost $8,000 savings. That was prior to the increase from the 3.86 to the 8% on TCRS, which leaves about $430.42 less than last year's budget.
Okay, I'd like to respond to that. Can you hear me?
Yes, Brad, we can hear you.
Okay. All right, starting out with the GIS cost number 3. There was a total of $2,000 spent in 2019-20. And number 4, there was a total of $3,460 spent in 19-20. And for number 5, if you look at the budget for planning for starting in 17-18, it's $273,366. It increased to $358,368 in 18-19 due to two vehicles of $50,000, as well as $56,298 for those electrical permit fees. Previously, those fees were paid out of, I think it's a miscellaneous category. They weren't even included in the planning's budget. So therefore, their budget was increased at that time with the offsetting revenue. And that revenue, of course, is gone for 2021. So where does the $56,500 that was supported with those revenues, where did it go? Because the budget did not go down.
Okay, let's go back to this. That $56,500 was not just electrical permits. That was also state permits for building. And that used to be $33,600. And that's been the argument all along with that's untouchable money, but that is reimbursed money back into the general fund, which came up to being a little over $200,000 in the past years or so. So I think Mr. Burke's a little confused on electrical permits and building permits.
Can you show me? I'm not talking about the building permits. I'm talking about the electrical permits. The building permits are up in the revenue.
The building permits were originally going to the state of Tennessee up until the year before last. The electrical permits, we still receive the $5 for everything that we write, but we don't have the pass-through money again. So that is money that we're taking out of our budget that we were always allocated, and we're putting it back into the general fund.
You're not taking anything out of your budget. It was put in your budget with the revenue to support that increase. Zero effect.
Well, I don't think so, because used to be it was $33,600, and I think the first year that we started writing our own building permits and electrical permits, I think that came in a little over $200,000.
I'm not talking about the building permits. The building permits aren't in your expenditures.
But it's still in the same line item from before you. Brad.
No, it is not. It's not in your expenditure budget.
Well, I'm sorry about that, but I'm pretty sure that's how it's always came out. Brad.
Well, show me where it's at. That's all I'm asking.
Well, you should be able to see that.
Can you show me?
No problem. I can pull it.
Okay.
Madam Chairman,
Commissioner Hill, yes.
I would like to make a motion that this get brought back to Budget Committee to allow Mr. Burke and Mr. Schutler to get their ducks in a row.
Second that
I have a question about that. Brad, Commissioner Johnson, or not Johnson, but Brad Burke, do we not have to have this submitted before August the 31st?
It's already been submitted. The budget cannot be changed. It can be amended at this point.
Madam Chair, I'd also like to say that I would have liked to have gotten this memo a little earlier than a couple of hours prior to our meeting tonight. This is in effect basically the same as laying some documents on the table 5 minutes before the meeting, and it's highly unprofessional. I'd appreciate a timely response next time. Let's bring it back next month and see if we can't get this right, gentlemen.
And like I answered your email, Mr. Hill, I would have loved it to not worked on this weekend on my time. Actually, I started on it Thursday, worked on it Friday, Saturday, and some Sunday.
And don't give gold stars for taking work home on the weekends, Mr. Burke. Thank you for your comment.
That's not what I'm after. I'm just trying to explain to you why it was sent out this afternoon.
Yeah,
Not
I mean, we
timely.
talked about it.
I don't need any slaps on the back.
I'll just stop just a second. We have a motion on the floor from Commissioner Hill. Commissioner Hill, can you restate your motion?
Return this issue to Budget Committee to be properly brought out next month.
Madam Chair, Brad Johnson, 3rd District, I second.
We have a motion, Commissioner Hill, to return this issue back to Budget Committee. We have a second, Commissioner Johnson.
You can't change the budget at this point in time. Yeah, you can amend it.
The budget amendment.
I think what we're trying to do anyway is get everything in line, because we sent something back from budget into planning. This was the second time it wasn't improved. So we sent it back to the planning commission. All right. They made a decision on that, which nobody knew anything about. Really, it was never presented to our finance director, never presented back to budget, and it wasn't available for full commission approval. Because that's kind of the problem. You know, we're talking about getting documents sent to us at the last minute. We also got an email from Mr. Schutler about 5:30. So that's
can I answer that, Mr. Garland?
Let Commissioner Garland finish speaking.
And that's the problem. That's why we're in this situation that we're in right now, because nobody knows what we're voting on, what exactly the approved budget should be. We talked about, I see there's salary increases in here that we weren't approving, that was sent back, and now they're back in there again. So there's a lot of question marks, and the problem with getting this information to us where we can make a good decision on actually what we're looking at. That's what we're after. I think Chris and Brad, we've got to start to make amends and make friends again and start being able to work with each other. And that goes for everybody. We all need to do that to where this isn't a big issue on trying to pass one budget or one department.
Go ahead.
Did you say go ahead, ma'am?
Yes, go ahead.
Thank you, ma'am, Madam Chairman. Yes, as far as the budget, I think Mr. Garland may be just a little bit confused on that. That was never talked about, taking those out. The pay raises that I had put in there for my individuals, the only pay raise that was different that came from the Planning Commission was on line 105. And also, I did decrease those pay raises by a little over $400, or right at $400 a piece, to run those back into TCRS to equalize that budget somewhat, myself and the chairman. Mr. Burke never requested the information or the minutes, like I said, Mr. Garland, and I apologize for that. You know, you can call me anytime. But as far as the minutes and the actual voice recording from the 8th, you know, that wasn't brought up. We talked about the $10,000 additional on part-time to work, hopefully bring some college students in or something of that nature. We talked about dropping the full-time GIS individual, and we did that. We met the criteria, and we even went as far as in the last probably 40 minutes into the meeting, we even made sure and clarified with Miss Wallace to make sure she had that information. So that was still, you know, what was said and what was done. That's, you know, I apologize if someone's tried to get a hold of me. I'm not contacting them back or something of that nature, you know. But that's what was discussed and then what was brought through. So I apologize, Mr. Garland, that you feel like that we didn't do something that I'm pretty sure we did what we discussed. I'm really sorry.
Well, I mean, it is confusing because, I mean, you go through these lines and you kind of manipulate what we're actually hearing and reading. You throw these lines out there, and it's hard to keep up. Certainly in a meeting like this, when things aren't so clear in front of you, and it's been tough to really.
Chairman Garland?
Yes, go ahead.
I just want to address Mr. Schutler. it keeps saying that nobody requests the minutes. Chris, we shouldn't have to request the minutes. You should provide those like every other committee we have. And to say that you don't submit them until your committee has approved them. We've got maybe 3 sets of minutes in the last 12 months. So what's the deal?
Well, I don't know. I apologize for that. But we did a check and everything's over there except 2 sets that didn't make it to the county clerk's office. And then the June 8th, it's not been approved. But unless those minutes are approved, they shouldn't go over the county clerk's office, Mr. Hill. I hope that gives you the answer you need. I apologize for that, but that's where we stand.
Okay, it just seems like every other department sends their drafts in, every other committee, but you know, the county attorney's there. Is that the correct procedure, Mr. Harden?
Yeah, all the minutes that are submitted are draft minutes until they're approved. That is true. Some of the committees are a lot more expeditious about getting those minutes to us. Essentially, every committee should be a month behind. So they should get your approved minutes should be approved the following meeting. So we should get those minutes every month, but they'll just be a month behind.
Thank you both.
And essentially used as a reference. I mean, to take the minutes from the past meeting, our budget, the Monday before our full commission meeting, sure, it's a draft, but you can at least reference what was discussed at the meeting. If nothing, you know, we don't have any record or any knowledge of what's going on. You know, we can't, you just telling us, hey, we're going to do this, or we chose to do this. We have no knowledge if that's true or false, Chris.
Well, Mr. Garland, I think Ms. Collins tried to explain it to you during that voice recording on the 8th. And I apologize, but like I said, we've been in some situations where lawsuits were brought before the county, and we got in some situations, a couple of attorneys back, and the AG, I think it was 1990 or 1992, 93, Mr. Brad Johnson might be able to answer that. But the Attorney General's opinion, they don't go into the county clerk's office until they're approved. But if the attorney tells me to send drafts, I'll be more than happy to send drafts. It's just extra paperwork. It doesn't matter to me, whatever's best. If it, you know,
extra paperwork, it's an email that's sent out, Chris. I mean, that's all they have to be is, you know, somebody work them up, if it's Susie or whoever, and just at least include them in our packet so we know what's going on and get an idea.
Madam Chairwoman Johnson, 3rd District.
Yes, Commissioner Johnson.
We've kicked this can all over the road. We're not getting anywhere. I believe the motion that is on the floor pretty well covers everything where they can come together and get their information right. They're still operational until they get it right, because the full budget is already at the state, so it means that we do an amendment. So I call for the motion.
Well, I have a question about it. Some of the other commissioners hadn't had time to pop in, so we've had some going back and forth here.
I call for the motion, Chair.
Question on the motion. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Do we have a second on that first?
No, we do not.
Need a second on the question on the motion, sorry.
I second the motion. Sandra Kohler.
Question on the motion, Commissioner Johnson, second by Sandra Kohler. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Discussion. This is the end discussion.
This is just a yes or no discussion.
Okay. I see. I'm sorry.
Willie Campbell, Mark Levins,
No.
Robert Acuff,
Aye.
Nancy Brown,
Yes.
Mike Hill,
Aye.
Patty Woodby, Bradley Johnson,
Aye.
Mark Tester,
Aye.
Charles Von Cannon,
Aye.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
No.
Jerry Prophet,
Aye.
Austin James,
No.
Ross Garland,
No.
Layla Ward,
No.
Ginger Holdren,
No.
Randall Jenkins,
No.
Gary Bailey,
No.
Travis Hill,
No.
Sonja Culler,
Yes.
Aaron Frazier,
No.
Robin McCamey,
No.
Kelly Collins,
Yes.
David Miller.
Motion failed. So we're still in discussion.
All right, Chairwoman Woodby, I have a question for the attorney,
Commissioner
James.
Bailey, James.
Don't you dare call me Commissioner Bailey. My question, attorney, how does this work? Because if I remember correctly, sitting in the full commission meeting last time, we approved his line item, his number, which is what I've always been told the only thing we're allowed to do is approve a number up or down. And we got full commission approval on it. So how do we go back and say, sorry, no? Because if that's so, then maybe we need to address some of the other departments.
Yeah, so my understanding of the situation is this: every budget from every department is presented to budget committee. The budget committee votes on specific line items. They can change any line item within the budget. Every department budget was approved except for planning. Planning submitted their budget 2 separate times, and both times it was voted no. By statute, on the 3rd time, the full budget is presented to commission. That means every line item in the budget. So the commission can adjust and review every single line within the budget. What ended up happening was, via the Zoom limitations and for whatever other reason, at the actual commission meeting, what was presented was just the final budget number. And yes, the commission did vote and approve that. And that's what was submitted to the state and approved. So if there's some shortcoming or somebody felt like they voted in error or didn't get the right numbers or whatever the discrepancy is, it would have to be now a budget amendment, which could come through budget committee and be initiated by the department head or a member of the budget committee with the finance committee. And then the budget committee would submit a recommendation to the full commission who would then vote.
So we can rescind anybody's budget that we don't feel that we're comfortable with that we made an error on.
No, you have to have a reason. Every line item and every budget for every other department was approved ahead of time and reviewed. This was the one exception. It's the same one exception last year. So it's not my decision whether or not you all had enough information to vote. That's your all decision. But at this point, what I'm hearing from several different people is they either didn't understand what they were voting on, or they voted in error for some reason, whether it was lack of information or misunderstanding. So in order to correct that, I think you all have a fiduciary duty to get it right. Now, if you want to extend that to other offices, that's your prerogative. But in this specific situation, it sounds like there was a lot of confusion.
Attorney Harden, or Madam Chairman, may I speak, ma'am?
Director Schieffer.
Yes, ma'am. If you look in your packets from the previous month, Mr. Burke did include a line item budget. It was just the second budget we brought before the county budget committee for workup. So this is actually less than what was placed in their packet and sent to Nashville.
Can I ask a question, Mr. Sheila? Why didn't we get these figures and all of this together? I'm not gonna say what's on my mind, I got better sense. But I just figured that they've been taking drags across back here. That's what I figured. And I just think it needs to be something done. We have this problem. 2 years I've been on the commission. 2 years we've had problems out of you. So I think we just need to do something.
Well, I don't think it's problems out of me. I think it's somewhere else. But anyways, I wasn't aware that they did not have, that Mr. Burke did not have it. I thought it was sent. That was my fault. It was a draft on my computer. I take full responsibility of that portion. And during that meeting, anyone could have asked, and I could have went over to the office and got a copy. So I apologize that we didn't think of that in time. But there is a actual budget, and it was the second draft of the budget that we took. The third draft is the one that should have came to the full committee, and I wasn't aware that Mr. Burke didn't have it until after or during that meeting. And I apologize, Mr. Garland, you're the chairman of that committee, and I'm sorry about that, but if I'd known, I would have took care of it.
Okay.
Chairwoman Woodby.
Who, I couldn't.
Chairwoman.
Commissioner Travis Hill.
I guess I'm just going to address the whole entire commission. I'm just going to go out on a limb here and say that the controversy is going to be the raise for Mr. Schutler. I'm sure that's what's going to get addressed. So why don't we just get it out in the open?
I agree with you.
Commissioner Woodby, Chairwoman.
Commissioner Gronside.
During the last budget committee meeting, we kind of had a brief conversation about some of the issues that apparently we've been seeing. Director Schutler has specifically said that it was his fault that the budget didn't make it to our packets, and that he would have been more than happy to go back and get that budget at any time, and was unaware that it didn't make it. My question is this, and it might be good for the county attorney. Doesn't every budget, regardless of whether the full commission has to approve it or the budget committee, doesn't every budget have to go through the finance director to be kind of looked over, make sure everything's in the proper lines, make sure everything is, some of these numbers are correct, such as one of the issues that has come up for the second year, the not the TDEC monies, but the other monies for
permits.
Yeah, for electrical permits. Isn't that the case?
Yes, sir. That's 100% correct. And the finance director is well aware. He is where the buck stops. He's responsible for the budgets and what's in them and as they're approved. So he knows that. So I think it's obvious that it's been admitted that there was a miscommunication, there was an error made. No matter whose fault it was, it could go back before the budget committee and be presented properly next month. I think that's what the motion is. So that would be my opinion.
Well, I can tell you, I think that one of the reasons why we forwarded it to the full commission was the fact that we were being told, and I have to, I can't say that I don't believe them when they say this, but that we were told that minutes were not available, that, they were having issues receiving minutes, whether they be draft or whether they be final approval. They were having issues receiving, or we were having issues receiving copies of the budget prior to and including this current budget that the bottom line was ultimately approved. It appears that we've had this issue for 2 years in a row, just over receiving copies of items in the planning director, from the planning director's office to finance, and ultimately the budget and full commission. I can't specifically state that I've received a copy of any planning commission minutes in several months, nor are they available online. Granted, I haven't checked with the clerk's office. I think that we are constantly seeing an issue with getting the proper documentations, or what we perceive to be the proper documentations, whether that's a perceived error on the planning side, a perceived error on us as commissioners, or perceived error in the finance side. And I tend to believe that it's not on the finance side. And so I'm just trying to, I think we're kind of at a loss of where we move from here as a budget committee, outside of the issues that maybe the budget has. If the finance director needs to approve these before they move forward, why we're having so many issues getting copies of the things that are necessary for him to do his job, and ultimately for us as a commission to do our job.
Yeah, I'm not sure if that's all a question for me, but I would say, if, you know, the intent of the minutes of the committees, at least in draft form, is to let everybody know what's going on, what was discussed in the committee, because not everyone can attend all those meetings or be at those meetings. So my suggestion going forward for Mr. Schutler on the minutes specifically is I would submit the draft minutes as soon as they're available in the packets, at least to all commissioners, and just have draft written on it. But as far as the official approved minutes, it's correct that the official approved minutes should be available in the clerk's office for anyone in the public, but they shouldn't be drafts. The draft should be, in terms of expediency, to get it to commissioners so they know what's going on, what was discussed, especially draft budgets and things during the budget time. Those things can say draft, nothing's final, everything has to be approved by full commission anyway. But as far as the committee minutes, I would at least get the draft minutes out every month, and don't store the final approved versions, or only store the final approved versions in the clerk's office where they're supposed to.
Do we have any further discussion? We have a motion and a second. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Wait, what's the motion?
The motion is to go back.
The motion is to send the planning budget back to the budget committee.
Okay.
Willie Campbell. Mark Blevins.
Yeah.
Robert Aco.
Aye.
Nancy Brown.
Yes.
Mike Hill.
Aye.
Patty Woodby.
Yes.
Bradley Johnson.
Yes.
Mark Tester.
Yes.
Charles Buchanan.
Yes.
Isaiah Grindstaff.
Yes.
Jerry Prophet.
Yes.
Austin James.
Yeah.
Ross Garland.
Aye.
Layla Ward.
Yes.
Ginger Holdren.
Yes.
Randall Jenkins.
Yes.
Gary Bailey.
Yes.
Travis Hill.
No.
Tasha Color.
Aye.
Aaron Frazier.
Yes.
Robin McCamey.
Yes.
Kelly Collins.
Yes.
David Miller.
Motion carried.
Okay, that's all we're asking. Just work with us, Chris, so we don't have to be hard on everybody. We don't have to fuss and argue. That's all we're after. Okay. Madam Chair, that's all I have. I can move on to Keep Carter County Beautiful really fast and Chamber just a couple quick updates, if that's okay.
That's fine. Go ahead.
All right. Keep Carter County Beautiful. They have, we are partnering, and we can commend Ginger on this. She did a great job. But partnering with the Chamber, them being a fiscal agent, with the $2,500 possibility for grant money, and this is through Deer Park, with waters, bottled waters. And we're looking to do a great program with getting some high school and middle school students involved, submitting like a digital essay or kind of interview for composting purposes, and also for some trash receptacles, recycling items that can be used throughout the county. So that's really neat, and it sounds like we might have a good chance at that because we got Ginger did a great job. Joy from the Chamber really helped out as well. So that's got some potential to get us about $2,500 right there. So thank Ginger for that. She did really well. And if she would like to add to that, she's more than welcome if you're there, Ginger, if you want to talk about that.
Thank you, Ross Garland. No need to thank me, but I was honored to do it. I hope we get it.
Yeah, I believe we got a good chance. So that's good. Pretty exciting. All right, I'll move on to the Chamber. Let me pull up something real quick. Spoke to Joy earlier. Got a few things going on coming up in the future. First one, I think she's got them by dates. A virtual breakfast will be this Thursday at 8 a.m. You could go to the chamber website, I'm sure, to link up to that if you wanted to be part of it. Chamber Jive after 5. That's this Thursday, 4:30 to 6:30 at 518 East Elk. That's downtown. I think there's some big excitement about this. There's a boss lady kind of a conference for women only, of course, September 8th, 7:30 to 9 o'clock at the Coffee Company. And this is just for ladies to get together, kind of network, and probably solve all the county and possibly world problems at that time. Legislative breakfast, September 18th, 7:30 to 9 o'clock at TCAT. I don't see anything about virtual on that, so that may be in person. I'm not 100% sure. And of course, moving the building will vacate the place where on across from the jail, and construction at Carter Finance right below Carter County Bank. Big Dan's right there in that area. So, I mean, if you want to see all this stuff, it would be updated on the website, the Chamber's website. But Joy's working real hard, Seth and Luke, of course, all good. And we'll add the bicycle race. I forget what it was called exactly, Omnium or something like that, with through Johnson City. Normally was held downtown on Sunday. And they run, you're talking, had 10, 12, 15 heats of, kind of experienced riders to pro riders. And big time money was on the line for those guys. And all they did was run 4 left turns from Carter County Bank, just to the covered bridge, to City Hall, covered bridge, and back around. And was a really cool event and brought in some money for City of Elizabeth and certainly our county as well. So that was pretty neat. They partnered with the chamber on that. So it was pretty exciting. And hopefully we can hold that again next year. But that's all I have for those updates. You can find them on their website, I'm sure.
Ross, you still on there?
Yeah.
That was me you seen laying in the street there, Carter County Bank to the next.
Who is that?
That's Billy.
Is that? Yeah. There were a couple wrecks. I know that. Of course, no casualties, but yeah, it was a good time, Willie. So I'd like to see you on a bicycle next year for sure.
Hey, Ross, on that
yes.
virtual breakfast, can you really eat, or do you virtually eat?
Yeah. I'm not real sure. I guess it will be in person because it doesn't really say virtual or anything like that. But yeah, it would be. You can eat your own breakfast, sitting in front of everybody, but must be in person. But that'll be September 18th, so we'll have time to figure that out anyway. All right, that's all I've got. Thank you all.
Okay, moving on to the building and ground, Commissioner James.
I don't really have anything. Just let the minutes reflect for itself. We're trying to, hopefully, since we got the money approved, we're going to stripe the parking lot, put some closures up in the assessor's office, and we're still working on a few other things. So hopefully we'll be back with some of those next month.
Okay. Education, Commissioner Ward.
We'll let our minutes reflect our meeting.
Okay. Financial Management, Commissioner Johnson.
Yes, Madam Chairman, let our minutes reflect our meeting, but I do have one thing to note, that our next meeting of the Financial Management, which was originally scheduled for the 7th of September, and that is being the national holiday, which is Labor Day, it is going to be called in session on September the 14th, which is the following Monday at 8:30. I invite everybody else to join in for them. That's all I have. Thank you.
Her discussion with Attorney Harden, the order from the governor on the Zoom meeting is tentatively through August 29th. So tentatively, we will continue to advertise the meeting as well, if that will be okay with all the hearings.
Yeah. Now say that again if you don't care. You cut out.
The order from the governor on the Zoom meeting is only for August 29th. We're not sure if he will extend it. But for advertising, publicly advertise the meetings as Zoom meetings?
If I may, what do we do in the event that we have September meetings and he don't extend the Zoom and we've not advertised properly?
Yeah, we don't know right now if it will be extended or not. I mean, the only thing I would look to cover is wait as long as possible to advertise. And I think we discussed that, or I discussed that with Patsy before the meeting. I think it can be delayed until the 23rd of this month would be the last date to make that call. So we would hope the governor would act by then. It has to be published by then. But we can advertise it as it's going to be a Zoom meeting unless the governor doesn't extend the order allowing it. And you can cover both bases there. I don't know how to do it any better than that. Yeah, so the publication would have to be made by August 26th. So there's still a week or so to see what the governor is going to do. But last time the order was extended within a day or two of expiration.
Well, more or less, we'll have to wait and see what the governor does to make the call by that date, what, on the 26th, I believe it is. Is that correct?
That's just a cost-effective last day. I mean, we don't obviously have to advertise until about 5 days before the meeting, so it's just a lot more cost-effective to have one monthly ad, but if need be, we can have that for every meeting.
I understand. We'll monitor it, and then I'll get a hold of the secretary of the board, which is Mr. Kennedy, the assistant finance director, and make sure that we get our advertisement in time, whether it's electronic or whether it's in person.
That sounds great, Commissioner Johnson. Is that okay with all the other chairs of the committee? Just monitor everything, the time frame, okay. Health and Welfare, Dr. Aco?
Thank you, Madam Chair. Just a quick report that the mayor asked me to do on autopsies. For the month of July, Carter County had 6 autopsies with 4 reviews. That brings us to the total for the year, January through July, to 33 autopsies and 11 views. Those are holding about the same. We've had more, we've had less, so we're right there in the middle. Mayor, if you have anything else that you would like to say regarding that report, I hand it to you. So hearing none, I'll move on.
I'm good. I was trying to get unmuted. I'm good.
Okay, go ahead.
I'm good. You covered it. Thank you.
Thank you. Just to remind everyone, all commissioners received earlier today the broadband Zoom meeting that will occur tomorrow at 6 p.m. You've received all the information that we have had coming forward, including numbers from Northeast State, as well as Ken Ray, as well as Commissioner Mike Hill's stuff. And we'll have some updates on those. So I invite everyone that wants to attend to be present tomorrow night. This is a recess, and we'll call it back up at 6. We set that meeting on the 4th of August, which was our regular meeting. So I encourage everybody to be there. I think we're making some good progress. The homeless resolution, which was passed by County Commission last month, has now been approved by the city. So we have now established together a joint task force. The commission will need to appoint 1 member to serve on that task force. Mike Simmerly will be the city's representative from their side, and there will be others. I think I mentioned to most folks that Pastor Brandon Young, who is senior minister at Harmony Baptist Church, is going to be the task force chair. And anyone that would like to join is certainly welcome. And I'll be meeting with Brandon next week to put together some other issues and talking points for him as he gets this off the ground. Further than that, Madam Chair, we'll let our minutes reflect everything else from health and welfare. Thank you, ma'am.
Thank you, Dr. Rico.
I slept through the financial management portion, but there was something very important that I wanted to say about financial management. Is that permissible?
Yep, go ahead. Commissioner Johnson.
Mr. Burke stated somewhere along the way that he understood that when he was hired, that eventually his salary would be tied or brought to the trustee's salary. I was on the selection committee, and that is true. That is true. The other statement by Austin James mentioned that the only way to adjust Mr. Burke's salary would be to get rid of the original motion tying it to the trustee's salary. That was not, there was never a motion, to my knowledge, ever, that was an understanding. But it was never, as far as I know, as far as I can remember, tied to a firm motion or anything of that sort. But Mr. Burke, you're exactly right. There was discussion about bringing your salary eventually to the trustee's salary. I don't know who else was on the committee. I think the only other person that I remember was Caldwell. So one might want to check with him, Mr. James.
Thank you, Mr. Montana.
Chairman Woodby, if I may, I would like to remind everybody that that motion to put the financial director up to the trustee's salary was made by Joanne Blankenship 2-3 commissions ago.
Okay. Thank you, Commissioner Collar. Highway, Commissioner Glenn.
We didn't have no meeting.
No need for highway. Landfill, Commissioner Collar.
Yes, my committee has a motion. If you've read your minutes, I hope you have read the minutes because it's very important that you know all the details. But I'm bringing the motion from my committee. It is to raise the tipping fee at the landfill to $43.50 per ton with a 3% increase yearly, and to raise the price of the bag garbage to $1.25 from $1.
Pleasant, first district, I'll second the motion.
Commissioner Collar with the motion, Commissioner Blevins with the second. Any discussion?
Yes, Chair. I would like to refer everyone to the minutes. We will be losing one of our biggest contributor by this increase. They were willing to go about $3, but this will cause us to lose Blue Ridge, and you can see the figures in the minutes. We will be losing quite a bit of money at the landfill if we do this.
On the minutes, looking at the minute here, shows a certain amount, but that's not including what we're paying to get rid of it, the garbage per ton. So if you figure in what we're paying to dispose of it, as fire car on the truck, or fuel economy, cost of the fuel, mainly ours that we're paying, I don't see where we could be making a whole lot. And I don't think we could afford to keep charging one company a certain amount, the other company a certain amount. And if we do, you know, it's going to cost the taxpayers, it's already cost. It's going to cost them more. So I don't like to be threatened from a company. If we don't meet their demand, then we're in trouble, you know. They're going to leave us. They left once, but they come back. I wonder why they come back. It wasn't cheap on them, so.
Chairman?
Any more discussion?
Chairman, Commissioner Hill, District 2.
Commissioner Hill, go ahead.
I read the minutes with great interest, and the only justification I could find for this tipping rate increase was a statement to the effect of there had been no increase in 10 years. This is a premise for a study on whether or not a rate increase might be warranted, and if so, how much that rate increase might be. I didn't see any justification as to how we arrived at the tipping fee that is being recommended tonight. I also actually had a conversation with Director Lyons about how the Blue Ridge trash folks should probably be offered some sort of contract, a lower rate for a customer in normal business. And this enterprise fund is a business that should have a profit and loss statement, which also wasn't attached to the minutes at all. I'll come to that point in a minute. But the Blue Ridge Trash could be offered a contract in return for their promise of business for a specified period of time. Right now, they apparently can come and go as they please, and weirdly, they apparently feel that they're enabled to demand certain rates. In the real business world, the customer doesn't get to demand a rate. The customer has to work with the cost of goods that they're dealt, and they have to figure their price of doing business and the price of service offered to the customers based on their cost of operations. We're getting this backwards in a lot of ways. I would have expected 4 or 5 years, probably 5, worth of P&L statements on the overall net operating gain or loss of the enterprise fund that would then justify a rate increase of any kind. And I don't see that here. I think you guys have the beginnings of a research project, but I don't think this is ready for prime time, folks. And for that reason, it's a no from me.
I'd like to second what Mike just said. We're nowhere close ready to vote on this. Where's the studies? Where's the money? Where's the figures at that we're losing money or we're gaining money?
Well, I mean, I'd just like to make a statement about it, Mr. James. I mean, clearly we're losing money on it because we're putting money into the pot. So, you know, and it's going out somewhere, and it can't be on construction because it comes in and never goes out. So it's going to be nothing but pure profit. So it's got to be on our trash. I mean, there's no other way about it.
If I might add, Chairman, one further comment. I think we need to look at all possible options, including, you know, the fact that we're one of the few remaining pay-to-throw landfill operations in the state can't be something that we can overlook. We should investigate what it would cost to fund landfill ops totally off the ad valorem roll. Back when I was serving on the committee, I think that was somewhere in the neighborhood of a quarter, which would, if we did that, it would shunt all the commercial contract business into a state of 100% profitability. But I think that we should look at all options and vet all options before we come up with the simple decision that we're going to raise the tipping fees by some arbitrary amount. And also, I would point out that raising the price per bag at the convenience centers to $1.25 is going to be a logistical nightmare for the employees at the convenience centers. I recall several times that the till has come out somewhat short. I think counting change, especially with the alleged coin shortage that's going on, will probably be a problem that we haven't thought about thoroughly. Thank you.
Chairwoman
Woodby.
Chairman Woodby. I'd just like to comment on this. Mr. Burke may have to help me a little on this, please, Brad. I do believe that we took, on the budget committee, we took $245,025 out of the general fund this year to fund the solid waste budget. So there's almost $250,000 that the taxpayers are paying to help subsidize a private company. Thank you.
Chairwoman Woodby.
Commissioner Hill, trying to see
Just to state, there's bits and pieces with each person who spoke that I agree with. I do agree we need to raise the tipping fees. 3% might be a little much each year. That's $1.30 a year. But I do think that we should look at maybe doing a contract with Blue Ridge, no more and no less than the city of Elizabethton, because why should they pay less than the city of Elizabethton, our biggest customer? But I would agree with the increase and maybe cut back on the annual increase.
If I can say something, Chairman Woodby,
Mr. Bailey, go ahead.
I brought up a contract, and my understanding, Beanie said that they wouldn't sign it. Am I right, Mr. Blevins? Did we not bring that up to them?
That is correct. They said, Blue Ridgewood said they would not sign no contract.
So, I mean, we're kind of being held hostage here. I mean, we've got to either raise the rates or we've got to set it or something, because if they don't want to sign a contract, then to me, they pay the fair market price that everybody else does.
Chairman Woodby, can I speak one more time, please? I think Brad would agree with me on this, that if you don't have the, if you don't have to have the, yeah, it just left me. You're saying you're going to lose revenue, but if you don't have the expense, you don't have, you're not losing any revenue.
Chairman Woodby, I think Mr. Lyons is on the Zoom meeting. Mr. Lyons, would you like to address any of these comments?
Yes, ma'am. I did ask Blue Ridge Trash if they wanted to do a contract, if they'd be interested in a contract, and he said he wasn't comfortable with a contract.
Andy, can you speak out just a little bit?
I'm sorry. Yes, ma'am. Can you hear me now?
Yeah.
I did ask Blue Ridge Trash if they was interested in doing a contract, and he explained to me he was not interested in doing a contract, that he felt like if he got mad at us, he wanted to leave and go do what he wanted to do. So.
Is there any further discussion? We have a motion and a second on the floor.
If I may address a couple of things that Commissioner Mike Hill said, the $1.25, that was discussed. Benny and I have discussed that. It is going to be a headache with the change. I agree. And also the 3% is going to turn out to be a headache with the change. So I don't know what that's going to mean. We talked about talking to the committee about rounding that up instead of 3%. But you are totally correct in what you said, Mr. Hill.
Madam Chair, Isaiah Grindstaff. You know, sitting back and listening, I have to agree with Mr. Hill on some of this. I do think that over the last several budget committee meetings over the last several years, we've seen a continuing need to subsidize the landfill from our general fund, and that's an issue. And it says in the minutes several times that, and Ms. Keller's brought it up several times, that we're the only county that doesn't subsidize their landfills at a set rate, or I guess basically operate them out of the general fund and allow those monies to come back in. But everybody's asking for profit, loss, how much trash, written figures. We kind of went over this in budget a couple of times, and we asked for those same numbers, and we just got them kind of jotted down real quick. I think that my opinion on this would be that it's postponed, not indefinitely or anything, but to allow maybe a joint task force of some budget, landfill, Brad, Guinea, to sit down, us actually be able to look at hard figures with documentation to be able to provide that and come up with a suitable increase if it's needed. And, I think we go back out and we attempt to, ask Blue Ridge again. And if they turn it down, then they turn it down. And I can kind of understand that, but at least we would try. So that's kind of my opinion on everything.
If I can say something, Chairman Woodby.
Mr. Bailey, go ahead.
When we was all talking about this, Mr. Grindstaff and all of us, the only problem is the way it's set up right now. My understanding of Blue Ridge, with the tonnage they're pulling, for the amount of money, that's about $75,000 a year less that they're having to pay for anybody else. I just have a problem right now
with an independent company being able to set their rate and then charging people where somebody else, if you wanted to start a business, you've got a rate, you can't compete. I mean, to me, if they was just paying the same as everybody else, it would have helped a lot. But there's $9 difference here. It's just too big of a gap. I mean, you know, I would put it back out as a friendly motion that we raise them $6 and do the study. We'll see how that goes, but they can take it or leave it. If Mr. Blevins would accept that, or whoever made the motion, that Blue Ridge comes up $6 and let's look at this. But one way or another, they need to be paying their portion.
Please take what you're wanting to do there, Mr. Bailey. I didn't hear you good.
I think that maybe if whoever made the motion, if we could put that out, that Blue Ridge goes up $6 from where they're at. And let's look at this study then, if they want to do that. Whoever made the motion, if they would accept that. But one way or another, Blue Ridge needs to be paying their fair share of the portion. There's $9 difference right now.
The motion came from the committee and I had to make it as chair.
Well,
Chairman, it would be Commissioner James. I just have a question for the county attorney. Correct me if I'm wrong, Josh, but should we just not do this straight across the board and keep it fair for everyone?
Yes, certainly I would recommend that you could certainly negotiate with different private companies based on volume and have a contractual rate, based on the large volume by one company. But I'm a little leery about charging different companies different amounts with no written agreement whatsoever. And it is kind of harmful to the private businesses who can't compete because they can't get a cheaper rate than Blue Ridge. I mean, I've got nothing against Blue Ridge, but I think if we're going to have a lower rate than a standard rate for any one company, it's got to be a negotiated contract or a certain length of time with guaranteed volume, that kind of thing to justify.
Chairwoman Woodby?
Yes.
Josh, you would say it'd be all right if each individual private company had a different rate if we had them under like a long-term contract?
Yeah, if there was a rational basis for the commission to approve a different rate based on guaranteed volume over a length of time, I mean, that's exactly what we have with the city of Elizabeth, and that's a bargain for contract for locked in time, locked in volume for a certain rate, and that's acceptable. But I don't think you can just individually price different folks with no guarantee that they're going to bring their trash back tomorrow.
I mean, I think we should personally offer them the same contract the city of Elizabethton has. They've got 5 years and a 5-year extension. They know what the rate's going to go up each year, and I mean, I don't see how they're going to get mad. They take their trash away, they dump it, and they leave. So I mean, what's the big problem?
Well,
Commissioner Blunt,
again, Travis, they're not willing to sign a contract of no kind with us. I mean, I'm gonna make a motion to cease discussion.
Chairman Woodby.
whoa, we've got a question on the motion.
Second.
Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Wait, I'm sorry, what's the motion? Not everybody's gotten to have their say either.
When he makes the motion, it stops it all.
Cleveland made the motion. Austin James seconded.
Voting the discussion on the motion made by Sonja Kohler.
Willie Campbell,
Yes.
Mark Levins,
Yes.
Robert Acuff,
Yes.
Nancy Brown,
No.
Mike Hill,
No.
Patty Woodby,
Yes.
Bradley Johnson,
Yes.
Mark Tester,
Yes.
Charles Von Cannon,
Yes.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
No.
Jerry Prophet,
Yes.
Austin James,
Yes.
Ross Garland,
Aye.
Layla Ward,
No.
Andrew Holder,
No.
Randall Jenkins,
No.
Gary Bailey,
No.
Travis Hill,
No.
Sandra Culler,
Yes.
Aaron Frazier,
No.
Robin McCamey,
Yes.
Kelly Collins,
Yes.
David Miller,
Motion failed. Back into discussion.
Chairman Woodby, Commissioner Hill, District 2, one final comment. Do I have the floor? The commercial business notwithstanding, if you look at this from the standpoint of the customer, the landfill consumer, and the proposal to go up a quarter a bag, which is going to be a nightmare, in my humble opinion, to put landfill ops funding on the ad valorem roll, assuming that 25 cents from a couple of years ago was fair, you're talking about a $40 to $50 annual increase on the average homeowner's tax bill versus 52 weeks. The average family of four generates what, 4 or 5 bags of garbage that they're depositing at the convenience center. Considering this would represent a significant savings to the households that use our convenience centers, to the tune of like 60-75% possibly. It cannot be overlooked. We should thoroughly vet this before we make an arbitrary decision to randomly raise the rate. And to Mr. Blevins' comment, if Blue Ridge Trash is unwilling to enter into a contract and lock in a rate to solidify their business, that's on them. We can't make people better business people. We can't make them make good decisions. We only, our trust, our job is to keep in mind the best interest of the people that are paying us. Thank you. I yield back.
One quick question.
Commissioner Frazier?
Thank you. Commissioner Culler, what is the actual break-even point of a ton of trash for the landfill?
The break even?
Yes, where the county doesn't lose money.
I can ask Benny. I don't think we're losing money, but anyway, Benny, if you're on, you can answer that question. Keep in mind, it doesn't matter if Blue Ridge is delivering trash to us or not. We still have to have people that are working. We still have to have all the trucks running because we do the trash anyway. Benny, are you on there? Can you answer his question?
Yes, ma'am. Mr. Frazier, I would say break even is going to be right at $28 a ton.
I'd heard a different number, that it was more like around $48 a ton.
No, that's I mean, Mr. Burke may have different numbers than me, but I think that's break even is not $48 a ton.
Well, Benny,
that's 40,
that's not
$50 a ton now.
Benny, how are we losing money if we're breaking even on one of our customers?
Well, Mr. Hill, a lot of our cost stems from some of the wore out equipment we have that we're constantly repairing, replacing, putting Band-Aids on to get us to the next year. So that's a lot of our costs, and I think Mr. Burke will tell you the same thing.
Right, but that should be factored into the cost of a ton of trash. We should never, we should never have a contract with anybody, with any private business where the county loses money. That is a government entity subsidizing a private business, and that is not even remotely good in any stretch of the imagination.
Chairwoman Woodby, if I may.
Yes, Ms. Collins.
I'd like to remind you what Benny just said. We weren't losing money, Mr. Fraser. It's $28 for the cost. But I'd like to remind everybody that not only does he have worn out equipment, he also has to take care of all the landfill testing from the past landfill, the leach aid. That's costing quite a bit of money that he has to put forth on an annual basis to take care of the old landfill. And that comes out of his budget.
Correct. And so that should be factored into the cost of a ton of trash.
I mean, is he losing on the terms of $250,000 a year on leachate?
No, sir, Mr. Hill, we're not.
That's what I was thinking. I mean, I'm just asking because the demolition site ought to be your cash cow. I mean, usually,
And I know that budget amount was in there, but I guess Mr. Burke, they probably got the figures in by now of what we actually took in last year versus what we lost. I don't know if that's going to change the scope of the budget or not, but
This is why you would want to produce at least 5 years worth of P&L statements showing a bottom line and a trend line, Mr. Lyons.
yes, sir.
Mr. Hill, Commissioner Hill, I just want to touch based on one thing you said earlier. You talked about adding 25 cents to ad valorem. I think that would be fine for me because I'd save a lot of money on trash pickup in the county, but I think you're going to kill the city residents because they get charged for trash pickup anyway. Is that right, Ms. Collins?
Yes, it is.
And it's bad service pickup at that.
Chairman Woodby.
You get double service pickup, Commissioner Collins.
Chairman Woodby.
Let me get Commissioner Von Cannon.
How do we get double service pickup?
The truth of the matter about the whole landfill situation and recycling is that, number one, we don't know what it costs to bale of cardboard. We don't know because things have changed. We aren't taking plastic anymore, therefore we should have more household tonnage being shipped than before. Until we sit down and do some cost accounting, which we've never done before because we had prison labor all the time. And it wasn't probably as important as it is now. But until we get a hold on the cost, and I mean cost accounting, I don't mean just guessing, I mean the numbers, whatever they say, we've got to do a better job in that respect. And the other thing I've harped on for years is if we don't set aside, now get this, $30,000 a year, $40,000 a year, some figure each year for closing this landfill, when it happens, it's going to be horrible on the taxpayer. Somebody needs to set aside, whether it comes out of fund balance, whether it comes out of the landfill, which normally can't afford it, but somebody's got to set aside a set amount each year, because 6, 8, 10 years down the road, I won't be here, but you will be, and the taxpayer is going to hold you responsible for it. You've got to prepare for these things. This is not a today thing. This is a long-range thing.
Commissioner James?
If I might, I'd like to ask Director Burke to chime in on some of this. We've heard everybody else talk, but the man with the numbers. So give us your input here, Director.
Okay, the greatest proportion of the cost is disposing of the trash at the landfill in Blunt Bull and hauling it. The labor and the fuel, wear and tear on the trucks, depreciation, so on and so forth. The revenues did pick up some towards the end of the year, and we don't have the final numbers for the expenditures for the landfill, for the solid waste fund yet, but we'll have those probably next week, and then we can tell what the results of the 1920 are. But of course, we're hauling more trash to the landfill in Bluntville. That's increasing the cost, but theoretically, we should be, receiving more money, more fees than what it costs to dispose of it. But you also have the other costs related to the recycling center and the convenience centers in Roan Mountain and Hilt Mills.
Do you have a figure on how much we're spending a year on repairs and maintenance on the equipment?
I do. I'd pull up right here.
go first.
Looking it up. Okay, for 1920, this is not counting any year-end payables that may need to be set up. But for the landfill maintenance and repair services for equipment, $44,576. That doesn't include parts and vehicles. Maintenance and repair is $16,527. Of course, the disposal fees currently, and this doesn't count June accrual, but for 11 months is $472,500. Then you have the disposal fees for the water that's hauled, or the leachate that's hauled to Johnson City. Tires is over $28,000. Parts, $13,300. And there was some equipment purchased in 1920, total of $174,000.
That was the new loader.
Okay.
Mr. Burke, what about evaluation and testing? That goes along with the closed landfill as well.
Okay. That is $13,372.
Do we know approximately how many tons that you took in this last year, Benny?
I don't have that right. I do not have that with me. That will actually be better kept going forward. We started with a new software program back November of last year, so we will actually have good data now as far as what's came into the landfill through the scale house.
Chairman Woodby, would you be willing to take a motion that we take the rate to $42.50 straight across the board for everybody, and Benny and Finance starts negotiating to see if that Blue Ridge wants to do contracts or anybody else wants to do contracts? But I think we do need to put a motion that we do it straight across the board for everybody in the county, where we're not subsidizing somebody privately or something until there is a contract signed or agreed upon.
Gary, I think there's a motion already on the floor.
Would be, there's a motion on the floor. If they want to change it, they were going to have to just do away with that one and start over.
Correct. There's a motion on the floor, Commissioner Bailey, from Commissioner Kohler. She would have to accept an amendment or recall her motion.
Chairman Woodby,
Commissioner Tester.
I need some clarification here. I went back and watched the meetings, the video meetings that the lady came from the state. And her recommendations were to make this thing solvent, from my understanding, and this is her words, not mine, was somewhere between $50 to $60 a ton. And that's to make it solvent and make it paid. I don't know what number she was looking at, but that's what I understood. If that's incorrect, somebody please correct me.
Danny, can you? Correct.
I'm sorry, Ms. Woodby, I don't have those figures in front of me, and I really don't remember what she said. Benny May.
The only thing I know she mentioned somewhere in the neighborhood of $48 to $50, but here we go again. We're 7 miles from one landfill, 20 miles from another landfill. If we raise our prices past those landfills, then we're going to lose everything.
Director, City's got a 2-ton minimum. Is that correct?
They do have a 2-ton minimum, yes.
Director Benny, if I might, how much is the other landfill's price per ton in their minimum requirement?
They have different prices, Austin. They've got their base price is set up in the neighborhood of 42 something a ton. Then they have environmental fees, fuel surcharges, other stuff like that that they are allowed to add on.
So if we're at 42 a ton, then we shouldn't be absurdly. I mean, we're not overpriced of the other ones. I mean,
We're 42.50 a ton right now on our gate rate.
Okay.
But Blue Ridge, if I can ask, Blue Ridge is only 33. Is that right?
You're right.
If I might ask, what's the other people paying? I mean, there's what, 6 or 8 other different people out there that's picking up trash and stuff. Is it just
most all your other carriers are on the commercial rate at 41.50 a ton.
Yep.
What's the city of Elizabethton currently paying?
Theirs went up the 1st of August. It's 34 or 35 and some change right now.
I mean, I'm finding agreement here that we need to go straight across the board unless we have a negotiated contract that's approved by the full commission. You know, I don't think that I believe the city is one of our larger customers also, and you know their contract they have an escalation clause in, so you know everybody kind of needs to be on the same page. But the difference with the city is we're guaranteed their trash. You know, we know how much we're going to get, and we know we're taking it in. But that's my 2 cents.
And I mean, we can't, there's no reason to lose money on any ton that comes in. I don't say that we have to make any dimes at all on it, but we've got to at least break even because you've got to break even. I mean, there's no point in doing this if we're not at least breaking even on what's coming in, because if you're charging less and then you're losing money, you're better off to not even take in that trash at all, because then you won't be taking $38 to give to just do away with $12. I mean, we've got to at least break even.
Mr. Tester, correct me if I'm wrong. Did Ms. Rhea also state that running a transfer station, that it was almost impossible to break even?
I did not hear her say that, Benny, and I apologize if she did say that because I didn't hear that. But and I watched that video a week or two ago, and so I'm not really sure. I didn't pick that up, Benny.
Okay, that may have been something me and her talked about on the phone, but she's told me that numerous times as far as, and if it wasn't on the video, but that it's virtually impossible to operate a transfer station to where you have to take your trash to another landfill and be able to break even with it.
And I'm okay with just trying to break even. But if Blue Ridge isn't happy with the amount that we have to charge, then they can put the wear and tear on their trucks, and we'll save the wear and tear on our trucks.
And I agree with you.
Yes,
Madam Chair. All of them, and all of them, it needs to be that way. It's not just them.
Madam Chair.
Just real quick, doing some math. I was looking at the landfill minutes, and it stated that Blue Ridge is paying $33.60 a ton, and in the minutes it stated that the city is paying $34 a ton with a 75 or an 80-cent increase. And it also says in the minutes that Blue Ridge is willing to do a $2.50 per ton increase, which would put really it puts them at the difference of $1.15 is what they're, versus what they're paying now, what the city pays. We've went on and went on and went on. I think that we have several issues that we really need to have a task force and sit down and discuss, or the landfill committee sit down and discuss on whether or not we're going to treat the landfill as a county service that we're going to provide, or if we're going to treat it as a business. And that's two very different ways to look at it. If we were to take over the landfill, subsidize the amount of money that would there and provide that as a county service is entirely different, as opposed to talking about them breaking even or making money off of this or off of that. I I really think that we need to step back and we really need to relook at this and come up with some different numbers or some better numbers that kind of some hard figures that we have in front of us. I just don't think we have the information to do this tonight.
I completely agree with Isaiah on this. Chairwoman Culler, do you still have your motion on the floor?
It's still on the floor.
I don't even know what it is anymore. We've talked so much about this. What is it?
Y'all
The motion is, it's in your minutes, the motion
No.
from the committee is that we have an increase to $43.50 for everyone with a 3% cost of living raise each year, and the bag trash goes to $1.25.
Wow.
We have a motion and we have a second.
Mr. Kohler.
Yes.
Mr. Gary, will you take an amendment to move that to $42.50 across the board for everybody until we get this worked out? Because right now, we have people with states.
I can't take that amendment because this comes from my committee, not from me.
Well, who do I ask for that amendment to?
You would have to come to the committee if I understand that correctly. Is that correct, Josh?
It appears that Ms. Kohler is simply presenting the motion from the committee. So if the majority doesn't agree with that, just vote on it and get that motion off the floor, and you can make any other motion you want.
Please, for the love of God, just vote on it.
Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Willie Campbell,
Wait just a second. Are we voting on closing the discussion or the motion?
We're voting on your motion.
Thank you.
Willie
Go ahead, call the roll.
Willie Campbell,
Restated.
She just restated it. The motion is to raise the price across the board to $43.50 per ton, 3% cost of living increase per year, and $1.25 per bag.
Thank you.
Mark Blevins,
Yes.
Robert Acuff,
Nay.
Nancy Brown,
No.
Mike Hill,
No.
Patty Woodby,
No.
Brad Johnson,
No.
Mark Tester,
Yes.
Charles Von Cannon,
Yes.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
No.
Jerry Prophet,
Yes.
Austin James,
Yes.
Ross Garland,
No.
Layla Ward,
No.
Ginger Holdren,
Yes.
Randall Jenkins,
No.
Gary Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Yes.
Sonia Culler,
No.
Aaron Frazier,
No.
Robin McCamey,
Yes.
Kelly Collins,
No.
David Miller.
Motion fails.
Ms.
Thank you.
Holden, how did
That's
you
all,
vote on that?
that's all I have.
Commissioner Collins has a question, Ms. Caller, for you.
I couldn't hear how Commissioner Holden voted on that.
She voted no.
Okay, thank you.
Isaiah, would you be willing to make a motion on this? On what you stated earlier?
Yeah, I make a motion if I may.
Hold everybody for just a second and ask Commissioner Holdren how her vote was on that motion.
No.
Commissioner Holdren, what was your vote?
Honestly, am confused. I don't know. I want to see a rate change. I'm not sure we have the exact right rate change on the floor. I honestly don't remember. I'm not trying to be stupid here, but I guess I am.
Either way.
Motion fails either way, so.
Well, then I would like to make a motion that we bring it, everybody across the board to 42.50 until we get this study done. Because right now, we have different rates.
We have a motion by Commissioner Bailey. Do we have a second?
Second, Commissioner James.
Second by Commissioner James. Any discussion?
Yes, ma'am. I'd like to remind everybody that we can't change the rate for Elizabeth and we're under contract.
That's what I was gonna say. You can't change that one.
Gary, if you'd amend your motion that it goes to everybody across the board besides people that we are currently under contract with.
Yes, and that will be if Blue Ridge wants to make a contract and we will all approve that, then they can. They're going to have the option to make a contract. If they don't, then they pay the rate.
Okay.
Well, you can't, Chairman Woodby, if I may, you can't make this motion tonight and pass it and then offer them a contract to do less, Gary. You have to decide if you're going to talk to them about a contract and get the rate settled, then make a motion.
Across the board, let's just go to 42.50 everybody, and then, I mean, why not? I mean, it might take 3 months or 4 months or 5 months to get a contract with them.
Hold on just a minute.
Chairman
Chairwoman, Chairlady Woodby. If I might, Gary, I'd second your motion, but if we make a friendly amendment that we take it to 42.50 except for anyone that is currently under contract with us or anyone that negotiates a future contract with us that has their rate set at that point in time. Will that work, Josh?
Well, that's a little open-ended to say, any future contract agreement. I would think there would need to be a little bit of a grace period before you implement any increase. And you can't, I would recommend leaving it open-ended to say we're negotiating a new one. I mean, if I were going to do it, I would recommend setting a rate as of a certain date. And if you're not under contract by that date at a different rate, then that's the rate of that.
Okay, then October the 1st.
Chairman Woodby, may I ask Mr. Bailey a question?
Go ahead, Commissioner Hill.
Mr. Bailey, where did you come up with this number? Out of the ether?
It's already at 42.50. It's just the fact that we don't have people paying the same amount.
So is it prudent to set a rate and then do a research project to come up with a different rate?
Amen.
Hey, we
well,
can't
hold
on a rate. It'd take us 8 months to get the figures figured out.
Hold on just a minute, Chairman Hill, or Commissioner Hill. We're not set. The rate is already set. We're just making it across the board for the people that are not in the contract with us. And if I understand correctly, I believe we are really in line with the other landfills around us, considering the fact that we have a transfer station. But you can't expect to say that we're going to let one company have a special rate or any other company to have a special rate if they don't have a negotiated contract. I mean, it's not right that your individual taxpayers roll up through the scale and pay a different amount because they don't have a contract. But I mean, they're under the same pretense. They don't have a contract either. And as Director Lyons had stated to us that they didn't want to have a contract with us. So if they decided they ever wanted to leave when they want to, they just pack their bags and go on. So what are we getting out of this? I mean, if we're not having something locked in, why is it fair that we have the city locked in, that they have an adjusted rate, and they have to bring it to us for at least, I believe, 4 more years. But yet this other company is at the same rate or a less rate, and they can just leave when they want to.
Benny, are you on there?
Yes, sir.
What is your standard rate across the scale for everybody?
Our standard rate's 42.50.
That's where I got that number, Mr. Hill.
That standard rate's been there for 12 years that I've been there.
Except everybody does not pay that rate.
Chairwoman Woodby,
Yes, Commissioner Holder.
I apologize to the commission for my blunder earlier. I want to state for the record my opinions on this. Some of the most important dialogue that I've heard is that we do need to decide if it's a service or a business. I tend to look at most everything as a business. I think that if we possibly can, that we should at least try to break even and not cost our taxpayers money. I do not know why we would treat a private business worse than we are treating our sister government in the city. Why on earth would we charge a business less than we're charging our sister government? We're trying to partner with them. We're trying to get along with them. We're trying to do things together. It doesn't look good for us to slap the city of Elizabethton in the face by giving a private business a lower rate. I definitely think that this needs to be changed so that we are not subsidizing a private business. And if, to me, it speaks volumes about the managers of Blue Ridge that they don't want to enter into a contract with us. I'm sorry, but we're being extremely good to them, and their thanks is a lack of loyalty. I don't like that. That doesn't sit well with me at all. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Holder. We have a motion on the floor. Commissioner Bailey, will you restate your motion?
My motion was to set the rate to $42.50 across the board for everybody.
Gary, would you accept a friendly amendment to that?
Yes, I would.
Would you offer Blue Ridge the same contract that the city of Elizabethton has?
If they're willing to sign it.
We have a motion on the floor with an amendment from Commissioner Hill and a second on those motions from Commissioner James. Any further discussion?
And
Would you repeat the amended motion, please?
Will you accept the amendment?
The motion was to set the rate at $42.50 for everybody. Travis Hill made a friendly amendment that we would offer Blue Ridge the same contract as the city of Elizabethton.
And will Commissioner James accept the amendment since he accepted the original motion?
Well, I have a slight problem with that now that Commissioner Holden brings it to attention. You know, our government entity next to us, in my opinion, ought to have a cheaper rate than a privatized business trying to make profit.
Come on, guys. Is this not something that needs to go back to committee?
Chairman Woodby?
Yes, Commissioner Kohler.
If I may, I'd like to remind you, you probably aren't aware of this because a lot of you weren't commissioners, but the commission voted on the rate for Blue Ridge when they came back.
Get back to
I'll accept the friendly amendment.
Commissioner James accepted the friendly amendment. Any further discussion?
Yes, there was discussion that this wouldn't take effect until October 1st. Is that correct?
Yes, that was my motion.
Correct. Any further discussion? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Willie Campbell,
To set it 40.
Motion to set flat rate for $42.50 for everyone except the city of Elizabeth. And then for the city, for Blue Ridge to get offered the Sunrise with. And start October.
If I also may say, Chairwoman Woodby, while we're doing this, are we going to extend this to our other companies that's providing trash service? I mean, I don't know that, that's, I guess, Director Lyons, can you chime in on that? Do we have quite a few other companies that's bringing pretty good amount of volume through, or?
Well, guys, what we really need to do is try to consider moving our rates in the upwards for everybody.
Chairman, if I might.
Mr. Hill.
The stated problem was that the landfill apparently is not bringing in enough revenue for whatever reason. The solution tonight has been to bat this thing about, and all the while the initial problem has not been solved. There are more moving parts to this than I think you can do on the fly at this meeting tonight. It's not an emergent situation. Certainly it's been creeping up our legs for quite a while. I think the prudent course of action would be to properly assess the need and then set a rate based on the need that you determine through quality research as opposed to whatever this is. Thank you. I yield back.
We've got a motion and a second.
Chairman Woodby, if I may,
Mr. Cole.
when we brought this up last month and I asked you to not pass it and to send it back to committee, the plan was to increase it by $250 for everybody, and that include Blue Ridge. They were on board with that. And then we were going to increase it another $250 the following year and proceed from there. That did not happen in my committee. My committee didn't select to do that. They decided to go with the 4350. But we had, Benny and I had talked about some plan to start raising it up and do a little bit better and not lose anybody that was really being a productive customer.
Okay, I think we've discussed this. Any further discussion, we're gonna go into a vote. Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Restate the motion, please.
Gary, restate the motion, please.
It was to take it to 4250 across the board for everybody. Blue Ridge will be offered the same contract as the city of Elizabethton.
And it will begin October 1.
Beginning October the 1st.
Everybody's got the motion? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Willie Campbell,
Yes.
Mark Blevins,
Yes.
Robert Acuff,
No.
Nancy Brown,
Yes.
Mike Hill,
No.
Patty Woodby,
Yes.
Bradley Johnson,
No.
Mark Tester,
Yes.
Charles Von Cannon,
Yes.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
No.
Gary Crawford,
Yes.
Austin James,
Yes.
Ross Garland,
Nope.
Layla Ward,
Yes.
Ginger Holdren,
Yes.
Randall Jenkins,
No.
Gary Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Yes.
Sandra Culler,
No.
Aaron Frazier,
Yes.
Robin McCamey,
Yes.
Kelly Collins,
No.
David Miller.
Motion passes. Now, this motion didn't include anything about the bags of garbage. That didn't have anything to, was
Right.
included in that motion.
Your percentage.
It's just a percentage. Okay, moving on into law enforcement. Commissioner Hill.
No report. The only thing that came up at the meeting was the resolution that passed earlier, and thank you all for that.
Thank you. Nominating Commissioner Travis Hill.
The only business we need to attend to is a appointment to the library board. And we had one applicant, Nicole Richardson. So I'll make a motion that we accept Ms. Richardson as the new appointment to the public library board.
Isaac Grunstaff, second.
Commissioner Hill with a motion, Commissioner Campbell with a second. Any discussion? Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Willie Campbell,
Yes.
Mark Blevins,
Yes.
Robert Acuff,
Aye.
Nancy Brown,
Yes.
Mike Hill,
Aye.
Patty Woodby,
Yes.
Bradley Johnson,
Yes.
Mark Tester,
Yes.
Charles Von Cannon,
Yes.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Aye.
Gary Crawford,
Yes.
Austin James,
Aye.
Ross Garland,
Aye.
Layla Ward,
Aye.
Ginger Holdren,
Yes.
Randall Jenkins,
Yes.
Gary Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Aye.
Sandra Culler,
Aye.
Aaron Frazier,
Aye.
Robin McCamey,
Aye.
Kelly Collins,
Yes.
David Miller,
Motion passes. Thank you.
Can I
Commissioner
go ahead and do
Wood-
agriculture?
Yeah, go ahead, Travis, with agriculture.
Wait.
Um,
Commissioner Woodby, Before you move on to that, I want some clarification on the seat of Mr. Lyons. I've had some people call me on how they're to proceed about that.
The county attorney's gonna do that in his report.
Okay, all right, thank you.
You're welcome. We'll go
Yeah,
ahead
we
to
met-
agriculture, Commissioner Hill.
Yeah, we met in August for agriculture. Of course, we only meet 4 times a year, but the minutes are in your packets. So I'll let them stand for themselves. These ladies do a fantastic job. We're very fortunate to have them. You also, this month, you had a newsletter, and I believe Miss Vicky's on here, but I think they're going to start sending out every month since we do only meet 4 times a year. That way they can keep you abreast of what's going on and what type of programs they're offering. But Miss Vicky, if you want to touch on anything, I'll open the floor to you.
Thank you. No, I just wanted to agree with you. We are going to try to keep you updated once a month of what we're doing, and we're always open anytime anybody has any questions. Thank you very
Vicky,
much.
did they happen to go ahead and fix the gutter over there? Did Ron make it over?
No, it hasn't, and we are still getting a leak in the upstairs when we fix it due to the gutter being.
Okay, Mayor, can you have Ron check on that tomorrow for us?
Yeah, it's my understanding they already have, but I'll make sure they will tomorrow.
Thank you.
Thanks.
No further, Patty.
Thank you. Rules and bylaws, Commissioner Jenkins.
Let the minutes reflect.
Okay. I'm just gonna go down through the boards and see if we've got any business. Animal shelter. Anything from animal shelter?
I think the only thing we needed was the motion that came up earlier. Thank you.
Okay. Beer board, Commissioner Hill.
No action.
Library, of course, we just filled that slot. Parks and Rec. Planning Commission.
Nothing to mention.
And nothing for records, Board of Health, or Civil Service Board. All right, moving right along. We'll go into the county attorney report.
All right, first thing is, I hope everybody got that secondary email that Abby sent out regarding the tax sale property, was bought. Everybody know what I'm talking about? I hope so. Essentially, what happened was, this property was separately assessed as a parcel in the assessor's office, and it was, taxes weren't paid, it was sold in tax sale. When the purchaser got out there and got an actual surveyor employed to look at it, it turns out that the property that was sold is actually included within the right of way of State Route 400. So it's actually a little piece of the right of way that is owned by TDOT. It can't be used or separately assessed. So it was a mistake in the assessor's office. It was sold and the purchaser paid money for it. So what I'm asking you to do is simply allow, I will submit a motion to the court to refund the purchase price to the buyer, since that is not a viable parcel that we can actually sell, and that will clear it up, and he will get refunded his bid.
I'll make a motion. Second.
Attorney Harden, who pays out the percentage profit on it?
There is no interest. He would just get back his exact bid at the time of the sale.
Okay.
What about the fees that he paid for the surveyor, or was that paid for by us?
No, the surveyor was employed by him. We still stand on the sale being as is, and it was his responsibility to investigate before he purchased it. But in good faith, we're simply trying to refund his purchase price.
Okay, we have a motion by Commissioner Blevins and a second by Commissioner Campbell. Any further discussion? Madam Clerk, on the roll.
Willie Campbell. Mark Blevins. Robert Acuff.
Aye.
Nancy Brown.
Aye.
Mike Hill.
Aye.
Patty Woodby,
Yes.
Bradley Johnson,
Yes.
Mark Tester,
Yes.
Charles Montana,
Yes.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Aye.
Gary Prophet,
Yes.
Austin James,
Yes.
Ross Garland,
Aye.
Layla Ward,
Aye.
Ginger Holdren,
Aye.
Randall Jenkins,
Yes.
Gary Bailey,
Yes.
Travis Hill,
Aye.
Sandra Color,
Aye.
Aaron Frazier,
Aye.
Robin McCamey,
Aye.
Kelly Collins,
Aye.
David Miller.
Motion carried.
All right, the second issue, that I was gonna address with you all is the vacancy created in the 7th district by Mr. Lyons' resignation. It's a little bit unique, never happened since I've been here, and I've talked with the election administrator, that happened in her time either. But essentially, because Mr. Lyons' resignation was effective before the state primary and more than 60 days before the general election, the vacancy is not filled by the county commission, but instead is on the November ballot. All those who want to run to be appointed to fill the remainder of Mr. Lyons' term will have to qualify with the election commission before noon this Thursday, the 20th of August. There was a procedure available for the Democratic Party and the Republican Party to nominate individuals to be placed on the ballot as their nominees since the primary had already occurred. But I spoke with the Republican chair, I spoke with the Democratic chair, tried to speak with the chair. I spoke with 2 candidates who were interested in being on the commission that I'm aware of, and nobody had any interest in being designated by the party. So I think both individuals that I'm aware of are simply going to qualify through the election commission, and they'll be on the ballot as independent candidates. So anybody who wants to qualify can be an independent candidate on the ballot. They got to get 25 signatures from the 7th district and turn it into the election commission before noon on Thursday. And obviously, whoever wins that in the November election will finish the rest of Mr. Lyons' term. Does anybody have any questions on that?
Do we have a plan to get that information out?
There is no plan. The fact is, when the actual workings of it were discovered, it was too late to even publish what was required, and obviously Thursday being the deadline, the only way it's getting out is being discussed here in this open meeting tonight. I took it on myself to call the party chairs to let them know the process, so if they were contacted and wanted to nominate a candidate, all they had to do was meet, vote on it, and submit that paperwork, and the candidate didn't even have to get seated. Neither one of those chairs were interested in doing that. Like I said, I spoke with Chairwoman Woodby, I spoke with the mayor, I spoke with the clerk's office to ascertain if anyone had expressed interest in filling the spot. And I talked personally to the 2 people who had. If there's anybody else that any of you all know us who has interest, give me their number and I'll call them personally, explain to them. But I just, under the circumstances, there just wasn't time to get all this out in public.
Thank you.
Chairman Woodby.
Yes.
Josh, would it be possible to get with maybe Abby tomorrow and see if they could post that on our Facebook page as well, so that at least we could try to get it out to as many people as possible to see that?
Sure.
I mean,
I'm off for whatever's available. Any medium that we've got, you all can post it on Facebook. We can get Abby to put it on the county website if we can. Whatever medium we got available. Obviously, they're going to have to act quickly. They've got basically tomorrow and Wednesday to get this stuff in by lunchtime Thursday.
I see
Right.
John Thompson's on the line, so maybe John can get it in the paper tomorrow or definitely by Wednesday morning.
I thought we had somebody from the Elizabeth and Star on the line too. I don't know if she's still there. Maybe not.
Madam Chair.
But let me say this, this was published in the paper. The election commission did publish this as they're required to by law. that there was the ability to qualify as an independent candidate. So it was published a week or so ago, for what that's worth.
So, Madam Chair, ACA First District, question to Attorney Harden. You said, I couldn't make out everything that you said, that they must pick up the qualifying papers, get their signatures, and return it by this Thursday.
This Thursday, August 20th, by noon is the deadline.
Okay.
And
Okay, thank you.
Anybody who turns that in will be an independent on the ballot. There will be no party designation.
Thank you.
Any other questions about the seeking field? Okay.
Oh, sorry. I'm still doing my report. You want to finish my report? Just to give you all some updates on litigation. I did participate in a case this past month in criminal court. It's an animal cruelty case where we got, I want to say, 8 dogs released and returned to the animal shelter, and maybe they didn't occupy now, but that's been dragging out for a year or more. That was State Tennessee versus Jerry Phillips. Secondly, Mr. McGee, Mr. Jim McGee, has filed a lawsuit against the county over the issue on Ridgecrest Drive near his residence that I'm sure you're all familiar with over the last several years. But I have filed an answer to that. That's in the very early stages. The opioid litigation filed years ago by the Attorney General for this district, that is still ongoing, and it is now set for trial late September. I want to say the 21st is when that's set for trial. It's been scrubbed a time or two, so it may not go forward. That's happening in Sullivan County Chancery Court if it happens at the latest set date. A couple of other cases were filed in the Federal District Court of Greenville, naming the county this month. Epler and the second one was Johnson. Those are inmates or former inmates suing the county over their alleged mistreatments and blows they received there in the jail. So those are both being handled in very early stages. Other than that, I'll submit my written report. You can read everything else that I worked on this past month. Any questions?
Before we move into commissioner comments, I'd just like to ask Commissioner Acap, Commissioner James, and Commissioner Profit to please go by and see Patsy to sign your resolution. And move into commissioner comments. Commissioner Von Camp.
I'd like to make a statement about the health department, the way they handle the testing for the COVID-19. It was very well organized. Mr. Smith was there from our world, and very quick. And contrary to fake news, they didn't run the swab through your tonsils. Only, see, my nose is not that long, but I advise all of you to go ahead and do it. Because after all, I wondered, I've had every symptom there is for 2 years before the pandemic. Because of my risk of lung cancer, kidney cancer, etc., etc. Go do it. Because it gives you some peace of mind that you didn't spread it if you were without symptoms to your family, to your grandchildren, to your children. Go have it done. And then they'll send you a letter that's really nice. I put it on record so that nobody would sue me if I gave them the virus. But go do it. It's not that big a deal. And listen, if anybody likes you, like your husband or your wife or your grandchildren, you owe it to them. Please do that for yourself, for your family. And quit putting it off. It's easy. 5 minutes.
Any other comments?
Make a motion to adjourn.
Wait.
What, Mr. Garland
Wait,
and Mr. Acuff?
Mr. Garland, are you raising your hand or? Steve?
You're on
Ross,
mute.
you're muted, Ross.
I'm sorry.
Yeah.
Thank you, Madam Chair. Do we have to submit written statements or our intent of what positions we're looking to run for the seats coming up for September?
Yeah, the procedure is still the same. You're supposed to turn all that into the clerk's office ahead of next month's meeting to be distributed in fact.
Okay. All right. Just curious about that. And then also we mentioned about paper copies of getting these, the commission packets. We need to somehow, if you need to get a commission packet, either make that clear that you want one, send an email that you don't want one. We need to let Abby know instead of having to print all these things out all the time. They're not necessary.
Yeah, I think that'd be great if everyone could send Abby an email letting her know whether you'd like a hard copy or an email copy. There's a lot of paper being used for these.
That's all I have. Thank you.
Dr. Akers, did you have something?
Yes, ma'am. Thank you, Madam Chair. A couple of things. One thing that extremely disturbed me this evening was the perceived animosity that is occurring between the Finance Department and the Planning Department. I also understand, I don't have firsthand knowledge of this, it could be gossip, it could be truth, that at some point over the last 2 weeks, there was a threat of bodily harm by one of the two parties. I would like to ask our attorney, who is a great arbiter, as I understand, to sit down with both parties, first individually and then together, to arrive at some way that they can come to work together in a professional-like manner. From what I understand and what I've heard and seen tonight, this relationship cannot continue. So I would like to ask that this commission support that idea. If you want me to put it in a form of a motion, I will. But to have Josh meet with them each individually, get to their issues, and then together to come up with an arbitration where they can work together.
I'm happy to do it. If anybody asks me to do it, I'll do it. If you all want to make a motion to vote, by all means, I'm happy to do it.
I'll make that motion, Madam Chair.
We have a motion on the floor by Dr. Akers for the county attorney to conduct arbitration between the planning department and the finance department. Do we have a second?
I'll second that motion. This is Stodger, District 7.
Second from Commissioner Kohler. Any discussion?
I think that they just need to follow all the policies.
Any further discussion?
I think we all need to get along.
Madam Clerk, call the roll.
Willie Campbell, Mark Blevins, Robert Acuff,
Aye.
Nancy Brown,
Yes.
Mike Hill,
Aye.
Patty Woodby,
Yes.
Bradley Johnson,
Yes.
Mark Tester,
Yes.
Charles Von Cannon,
Yes.
Isaiah Grindstaff,
Aye.
Gary Prophet,
Yes.
Austin James,
Yes.
Ross Garland,
Aye.
Layla Ward,
No.
Ginger Holdren,
Yes.
Randall Jenkins,
No.
Gary Bailey,
No.
Travis Hill,
No.
Sandra Culler,
Aye.
Aaron Frazier,
No.
Robin McCamey,
Yes.
Kelly Collins,
Yes.
David Miller.
Motion carries.
Thank you.
Chairwoman Woodby, if I may.
Commissioner Holdren?
Thank you. I just want to say that I respect all of you. We don't always agree, but I respect you. I appreciate it when you speak and share your thoughts. What I became upset about tonight was the lack of etiquette and the not following of Robert's Rules of Order. We are to be recognized by the chair, and we should not be speaking when we are not recognized by her. Interjections are inappropriate. But I want you all to know that I respect you and I enjoy working with you. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner Holdren. Any further comment?
Chairman, one from me again, District 2, Mike Hill.
Go ahead, Commissioner Hill.
I got word today that from the city schools that they have reported their first student case of COVID at T.A. Duggar Junior High School. They are trying to return to school this week. I would like to commend our school board for making an extremely difficult call to call off the jam for a week or so, try to let the numbers go down, and make some solid decisions in this thing. From what I understand, they're getting quite a bit of pressure over this decision, and whoever your district representatives on the school board are, just show them some love. They made a really terrific call, a really difficult call, but based on this notification today, I think they got it absolutely right.
Thank you, Commissioner Hill. Any further comment?
Motion to adjourn.
Motion to adjourn, Commissioner Blevins.
Second, Aaron Frazier, 7th.
Third, Austin James. Fourth.
All in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Thank you, everybody.
Aye.
Have a great night.
Aye. 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 Aye.